Oh, okay. Can you guys... Okay. Is this working? I think you guys can see my screen now. Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Not me getting... Okay. I just want to see... Can I see comments? Can you guys hear Dimitri? Please. Okay, I can't see comments. Just have to figure that part out. But hello to everyone that's here. I see that there are 7 people here. I'm using my phone as a... Well, I'm going to try to use it so I can read comments as well. I was going to do tomorrow...
Când sunt preocupată să țin șirul cheltuielilor, opțiunea de analiză de la Revolut mă ajută să țin...
Obviously,
That was my attempt, the first attempt to try to go through it on my own, and it was unbearable. I'm trying to figure out how I see comments. Can I see comments? Oh, y'all, I thought I had it figured out. But clearly I do not have it all figured out. Okay, let's see. Science and sarcasm. Okay. Aha! Okay! Yay! Yay! Hello! Okay, I see you guys now. Yeah. So I'll be looking at my phone for chats. Oh, this is so exciting! Hello, Sapusi. Hello, Emma, Veronica, Clever Bee, Insolent Violet, Bird. Hello to you all. Hello. So I saw Andrea in my little post suggested that maybe we watch a condensed version of Amberlynn's live. Give me your thoughts if you want to see that. Hello, XRXs. Yeah, sorry. Also, I'm realizing that this is slightly delayed, so that'll be interesting. But you guys let me know if you want to just watch it straight from Amberlynn's channel, or if you want to watch it on someone else's, like maybe Salty Crab. I believe they did a synopsis of it. Joining from South Africa. We love South Africa over here. But yeah, let me know. Because this, just so that we all know, I'm sure we all know, Amberlynn's video is 2 hours and 50 minutes. That's a lot to get through about someone that's about to talk a bunch of BS to us. I don't know if we want to do that. So I'm going to wait a few minutes to see what people would like. Huh? Y'all, I'm not gonna lie. This was hard. This was hard to figure out. But I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm no Lordy, oh Lordy, it's Jordy over here. He's really got a great setup, but this is as good as we've gotten so far. So hopefully we will continue to get better. A condensed version because she is so manipulative. Maybe Salty Crab then. She definitely talks BS. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Okay, because I did watch about 40 minutes. I even did I was reacting to it, and I literally got so annoyed. It was so disgusting to watch, to be honest. It was really disgusting to watch it. She just also lies so much in it. She pretends to not know what Beck is talking about or misconstrue what Beck says, and then defends that when it was just very weird. AOL's video is such a rough watch. I prefer a shorter version. She talks too slow and often so boring, condensed because I can't listen. Okay, I'm glad that we are all on the same page for that. So goodbye, Amberlynn. Also, I kind of just don't want to give her a review for it. Don't stress. We also want you to enjoy the stream. Thank you. I'm not too stressed. I always get a little anxious in the beginning. It's a little scary, but I think it'll be good. Also, so yeah, I think we will do salty crabs. I will say this is part 1, so I'm guessing obviously there's going to be part 2 and 3. And obviously there's going to be a lot of salty crab's own interjections, which are usually spot freaking on. So that's not bad. Also, I hope that salty crab doesn't get mad that I'm using their video because I really think we all need a buffer. Just joining from Montana, USA. Hello. Same. Don't give her the views. Yeah, I'm really just, y'all. After watching the lukewarm tea, I'm really just over giving this woman views. I mean, yeah, I think we all just need to stop giving this woman revenue, to be honest. She really needs to not have such a big platform. It's crazy that she's continued to be able to do everything up to even this live, which was just atrocious from the parts that I've seen, and still have nothing happened to her. It's just annoying. Hi from Seattle. Oh my gosh, I love Seattle. Hello from Ohio. Ooh, I grew up for part of my life in Michigan, so I'm supposed to hate Ohio, but I guess I'll like it for Clever Bee. LOL. She broke... yeah, so I initially started watching Mr. Snowflakes because what I was going to do is do the same thing I did for the lukewarm tea stream and do a synopsis, but it was just getting so long and I was only on the first video of Mr. Snowflake. I was like, okay, this is honestly going to end up taking longer than if I just watch hers, and then I couldn't get through hers without someone like Mr. Snowflake as a buffer, and it was just so bad. She broke Karina too. Hi from New Zealand. Hello. Yeah. I literally saw the life fade out of Mr. Snowflake's eyes. It was very tragic. Hello, Lucy. Hi from New Zealand. Yes. Wait, do we have 2 people from New Zealand here? Oh my god, yeah. That's very cool. Oh, we got people connecting. Missoula. I've been to Missoula. The food in Michigan is better. I mean, we got that good Arabic food. So, yeah, I would agree. Snowflake had you in his latest video. I saw for one of his reactions he put me, which I thought was so funny. I commented it was the best shout out that I had ever paid for. I obviously did not pay for a shout out, but I LOL because I was just watching it organically, and then all of a sudden I saw my face. I was like, what the heck? Oh, they're both from Missoula? That's so cute. Y'all should link up. Hi there, I love New Zealand. Yep, been to Missoula since... Oh, this is so cute. Okay. I think I'll wait a little bit longer till we do it. But we're all good with watching Salty Crab, right? Just to make sure that we're all on the same page. If you have other suggestions as to where to watch it, you can also let me know and we can see if that's better. Snowflake likes your channel. I like Snowflake's channel, Mr. Snowflake's channel. Oh my god, I graduated from St. in 23rd, left Missoula to WA in December. Wow. Y'all. Small world we live in. Oh, you're visiting New Zealand in December? Dude, that's so cool. I would love to visit New Zealand. The nature is crazy there. This live broke Snowflake too, lol. Yes, Salty has a very good voice. She does. I love listening to to Salty Crab. Like, obviously their takes are amazing, but also they just have a really nice voice. And I just like the way that their videos are. Like, it's very clean. Came here from Katrina from New Zealand. Oh my gosh. Let me try to read, y'all. Okay, came here after Katrina from New Orleans. Wow, that's crazy. I hope that everyone was okay. I hope you weren't horribly affected. Yeah, I had posted a second community tab saying that I would go tomorrow, but then I was like, it's probably better. I mean, it is 11 o'clock at night here, but it's probably better if I do it tonight because then I still have Sunday to recover and I have a test on Monday. So it's probably not great that I would do that late. Plus, why not? I was like, I'm probably gonna, real talk, probably gonna watch TV anyway, so I might as well do a live. But welcome, Felicia. Alrighty, should we start, do you think? Or should we wait a little bit? I don't know. I don't know how these things work, y'all. Katrina lost my business. Katrina lost my home, lived in one. Oh, wow. When do you comment Foodie Beauty? Wait, are you asking me if I will comment on Foodie Beauty? To be honest, y'all, I've watched a few of her videos. Yes, she's crazy, but like in a not very interesting way. I really don't find her very interesting. To be honest, and I don't think I would have much to say. The only thing that I think I would have a bit of an opinion on would be her reverting to Islam and all of that. She reverted to Islam for a man, so that's in itself like not great. It's like in Islam, that's like you should never become a Muslim for something else other than for Allah. And she did that, so I don't know. I don't have much to say other than that for her, to be honest. And she grosses me out. The way she eats is just so disgusting. Like, yes, Amberlynn grosses me out, but like she's at least somewhat clean about it. Like Foodie Booty is just like straight up nasty about it. It's really disgusting, and I have a big thing with that. Happy Sunday night to you. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming, y'all. Hey girl, hope you're well. I am Emily. Thank you so much. I hope you are well. Before you start, I need to say that us Portuguese people don't claim Amber. Girl, okay, first off, you actually are Portuguese, right? Like, I'm sure. Amberlynn ain't Portuguese, y'all. Like, if she took a DNA test, she'd probably be 2% Portuguese. But I respect that. I respect you not claiming her. You should not claim her. Interesting, Romania and SA on the same time zone. Oh, that is interesting. South Africa's on the same time zone. Hello, everyone. I just got here on time. You have not missed anything. They said Foodie was bit by a cat and has rabies. I'm telling you, y'all, that woman is something else. She's got a lot of things going on with her. Yeah, she's not the most hygienic human being. Oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. What experience? Yeah, that is a crazy story, CLSA. She reverted for the hijab. She wanted to cover up. That was more important than Salah. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. I mean, she could she could wear a headscarf regardless. You don't have to be a certain religion to wear a headscarf. That's interesting. We are live. Sweet. Yes, Rex the Dragon. We are live. Booty's Kuwait arc is her most boring, to be honest, so I don't blame you. Yeah, like, I remember there was, like, when she was still in Canada, like, there was a definitely more drama, but now it's, like, just her sitting in a room eating fast food or her being in a car eating fast food. There's, like, no real interesting arcs, and she, like, tries to, like, be pious, which is just, like, really annoying to watch because, like, she's very vulgar, and, yeah. Yes, I was born in Portugal. Yeah, exactly, Veronica. You're actually Portuguese. That's... I'm going to need you to be able to say 2 sentences in the language for you to claim that nationality. Which Amberlynn cannot do. I can guarantee that. Foodie is a fast track to no longer being here with her health problems and how she eats. She literally is not interesting anymore. The reactors make her watchable. Yeah, I've also heard that, like, I do know that she has a lot of health problems, like, crazy amount of health problems. And honestly, just looking at her, you can tell that her body is not doing well. Karma is a cat. Hello, I didn't miss this one. Woohoo. No, you didn't miss it. Dabella? Did I say that correctly? Probably not. But you did not miss it. We have not started yet. Rabies, for real. I know she went to the hospital, but rabies. Ready, set, rabies. She had rabies, shot, tetanus, and shot. Dang. Oh, because she got bit by a cat. Okay. Y'all, that just went into my head. Okay. A stray cat bit her in Kuwait. Her last doctor visit was that, and her eyes are yellow. Ugh, we all know what that is. That's liver disease. She got the jaundice. Clever Bee, thank you so much. I gotta log off. Just wanted to show support. Hope school is going well for you. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. School is definitely going great. I have a lot of tests coming up. The big test is the cranial nerve test that I have on the 25th. Apparently last year, 80% of people failed it and had to retake it. So I'm going to try not to be that, but thank you so much, Clever Bee. I hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful day and night, a restful one. And I'm sure I will see you in the comments or in another live again. Dr. Petra microchip still. Oh, Amberlynn's probably definitely not. Hello, PsychoCat90. We are live. Booty should be microchipped. Y'all stop that. Stop that. That is 80% of the people failed and had to retake the test. It's like notoriously one of the hardest tests that you take in the first like year. And we have 10 minutes to answer 10 questions, but they're not like cute little fun, easy questions. They're like, you got to think about it. And there's like, can be up to like 3 correct answers. Yeah, I'm scared. I'll be starting my studying for that tomorrow. I've already looked over the sheet. We got a 19-page PDF and a 37-page PDF. Apparently, if you just want to barely pass, then use the 19-page one. But if you actually want to do well, then use the 37-page one. So, I feel like whatever you're studying is embodying temperance, Brennan. Watching that show, I really felt seen with that character. I'll tell you what, they really nailed the autistic science girl. Even the high school, what do you call it? Episode where she like goes back to high school and everyone's like, oh, you're weird, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, you're still weird kind of thing. Dude, I felt that. Like, I was the weird science girl. And I also, ironically enough, was also friends with my janitor, which is hilarious. That show really made me feel seen. It wouldn't be the worst thing to get that she got lost in the desert amongst the camels. Y'all are ruthless. Cat scratch bruiser, dun dun dun. Y'all are funny. All right. Do you think that we should start now? Let me know what you guys think. Or, yeah. I'll obviously have this up for people later so that, yeah, it'll be on my channel so you guys can watch it if you need to leave or if you don't catch it on time. My son is autistic. Autistic people are the sweetest. I have to say a lot of autistic people are awesome, but being autistic definitely doesn't make you awesome, as we see with the good old Elon Musk. But I agree. Most people that I know who are autistic are freaking awesome. Weird Science Girl, I love it. Foodie has driven us to this point. We used to be nice people. That's how I feel too. It's just being in girl world in general, because I kind of like know a little bit about everything. But like Amber was like my main entrance into girl world, and I was like, I swear, y'all, I used to be an empathetic, understanding person with these people, but eventually they use up their chances, and you just don't have any time for the bullshit anymore. Okay, down for whatever. All right, so I think I'm gonna start it. I will ask you guys to let me know if the audio is okay, so that I can get that all situated. Obviously, I'm just using my iPad, so it's not like I can do much with it, but like let me know if it's too loud or not. So, let's begin.
Reducere de până la 55% la seturi de terasă. JISC, Scandinavian Sleeping and Living.
Oh!
No.
Yo, please! Okay.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and today we are here to discuss Amberlynn's live stream called Breaking My Silence. And like I said in my community post, I have a lot to say about this. I turned her
Is the audio okay? Or does it need to be louder? I don't want to like have it blaring for you guys. Hello, Deb. You guys are back. Okay, sounds good. Perfect.
on the other night and was just kind of like, oh boy, here we go. Let's see what she has to say. And I didn't finish the whole thing, but the parts that I saw had me literally yelling at my phone. I could not believe.
Okay, XRX is the majority say that it's good, so maybe try to put your volume down.
How much she was lying. I couldn't believe her whole vibe through the whole thing. It was very...
I will say my initial thoughts to it were the fact that she almost instantly started crying was so annoying, because this is not about you in reality. Like, this is Beck's story that you're trying to, like, take over. And the fact that she started off immediately with... essentially trying to like show how shitty Beck is, and like saying, like reading the text of Beck obviously coming to a breaking point and being like, stop talking about me, get your name out of my mouth, this is my last warning. Like I that really just set the tone for how we knew exactly how this live stream was going to go, which is Amberlynn was going to sit there and make every attempt to make Beck the shitty the shitty individual, and Amberlynn just like, yeah, sure, she did a few things wrong, but like it wasn't that bad. Like, look how bad Beck is, you know? It's just, it was so gross to see it. It's victim Lynn. Like, it's crazy that this live was supposed to be her taking accountability. And as you'll see, if you haven't watched it already, the only accountability that I saw her take, like where I got into the live stream, was her saying, yeah, I took up some of Beck's time. That was the accountability she took. And the rest of it was her dogpiling on Beck and lying about it. Like, things that we know are not true. Like, we know are lies, but let's continue.
Poor me, I'm the victim. She wasn't taking it seriously. She was giving birthday shout outs to people. She was telling people at the very beginning, come in, sit down, get some popcorn. Like, this is not you taking things.
Yes, that was another thing. That was crazy that she literally started off with saying, like, go get a drink, get some popcorn, like, relax. Like, it was a freaking movie. And this is literally supposed to be Amberlynn taking accountability about the abuse she put a partner through. It was actually so disgusting. And then, went from doing that to, like, crying. Like, this. She's so psychotic. Felicia, thank you so much for becoming a member. Yeah, so...
Seriously. Also, there were a ton of ads. I stopped counting after 10 ads. And
CLSA. I hope she doesn't bash Beck in this live. Girl or boy, I don't know. Don't hope too much because pretty much the very first thing you're going to see is her bashing.
2-hour stream. Or actually the first 2 hours. There was probably more than that in the whole stream. But yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm ready to go and ready to show you guys everything that I have that is going to debunk and disprove most, if not all, of the lies that she told that night. So ready? Let's go. So before we get started with the video, I just want to point out, this is a community post that Amberlynn made before she did the live stream. And there's one section
Veronica, absolutely. The fact that she was calling this tea was so gross. Like, you know that this, for her, is all about trying to rewrite the narrative and make a buck. It has nothing to do with her wanting to take accountability or anything. That's, like, literally, it was just a money grab. It's so disgusting.
Want to read for you guys. Just remember, this is the same thing that she told us in her members only stream that she was gonna do, which we'll get into it, but let's just read this. It says, but I want to make it very clear, this will not be a place to bash back, to insult back, or to invalidate back. It's going to be a place for me to be accountable in the wrongdoings I have done by being open about them, sharing what I did, and sharing what I could have done differently. It's also a place for me to share my point of view of situations that I remember differently, because as wrong as I was in a lot of situations with Beck, it is wrong to lie and exaggerate things that are not true. I will not be doing this to be believed. Can we read that part again? I will not be doing this to be believed. I will not be doing this to have more people on my side. This isn't about that. This is about finally allowing myself to publicly be accountable and stand up for myself.
Yeah, we'll let Celtic Crab talk in a second, but it's actually crazy because the fact that she's like coming on with like bullshit receipts that don't prove anything, as you will see. Again, I only watched about like 40 minutes into it, but like it was 40 minutes of bullshit, and like the receipts that she did bring up in that time was absolute bullshit, and it was all about putting doubt onto Beck, bashing Beck, and then like being like, well, yeah, I did this little thing, but it's like, look at Beck. And it was just so also, yeah, I was just gonna say it was so gross, but like also this thing is so obviously written by like ChatGPT, like just so obviously written by ChatGPT. Amberlynn doesn't talk like this. The whole LMNOP, ABCDF gives ChatGPT vibes 100%. Yeah, very gross. I was watching Charlie Gold when she came on, and I was so disgusted by her accountability. She was smug and so manipulative the whole time, plus her lips. Yeah, I agree, Angela. Like, can only mask her true self for so long. It eventually comes off. She'll never change. Yeah, like I said in my latest video, I really think at this point, like, she genuinely needs like intensive behavioral therapy, and for someone in her life to like start calling her out by someone that she respects or like cares about to some extent. And I think that would only be her mother, and I don't think that her mother has watched any of the videos. I think she understands what the girl world is based off of Amberlynn's like saying, and like we all know what that looks like. We all know it's all manipulated and like taken out of context. So Yeah.
Let's see how that went for her.
It didn't
shall
go
we?
well.
So like I said, she starts the stream. She's like, come on in, guys, get your popcorn, which really pissed me off because this is not a light sit down and enjoy the show situation. Yeah. She's finally drinking some water and she basically just gets right into it.
I will say, okay, sorry. I'm going to pause a lot in this video. I'm sorry, y'all. When she took out that Fiji water and took the tiniest sip I had ever seen in my freaking life, I cracked the fuck up. I'm not gonna lie. The way that she downs her sodas or like her Gatorades, we literally see like her throat open like a freaking snake. And then here takes a little sip of the water. I was like, you're allergic to water or something, for real.
I am here to be accountable. Like I said in my community post, I want to be accountable. So you guys are going to find out tea of things that is real and is true.
Crazy. Like Veronica, you said, crazy that she's calling this tea and not the fact that literally it's Amberlynn being a domestic abuser. That's actually so psychotic of her. This is also why I don't believe the Casey story. And why I don't think Amberlynn was the one abused in the Casey-Amberlynn relationship, because of the way she talks about domestic violence, because of the way that she addresses it. It does not give someone who survived domestic violence at all.
I also want to talk about things that aren't real and aren't true, because I feel like that is just as important.
Te-ai întrebat câte ore te joci pe zi? Știai că poți face o carieră de succes din dezvoltarea jocurilor video?
So she's laid the groundwork for what she's planning on talking about, and I just wanted to highlight the sentence that she said. I am here to be accountable. We're going to keep that at the bottom of the screen, this whole video, to just remind you, this is what Amberlynn says the whole purpose of the live stream is.
This isn't a place for me to like bash Beck or talk about their personal things. Like that's not what I'm doing.
It's exactly what she did, is bash Beck. I know I keep saying it, but I just want us to like continue to be reminded. Her words and her actions throughout this whole video do not align. It's so crazy.
So I just want to like
Andrea,
also
hello.
make that very clear.
Welcome.
Okay, so we're here for her to be held accountable and to not bash Beck. That is what she is saying will happen. Let's continue.
September 7th, 2022, I get a text from Beck saying, last fucking warning.
Get ready.
Stop talking about me. All you do is talk shit about me. And I just want to forget.
I just want all of you to like really hold in your hearts the voice quivering that Amberlynn puts in. Honestly, Oscar winning like show. Truly. Crazy that she could go from go get popcorn to her voice quivering.
You and all of the bullshit. I will stop being silent if you don't. And I'm not the only one who has a lot to say about you. Final fucking warning. Take my name out of your mouth. And I can get the law involved.
Really cracked me up, to be honest. Really cracked me up. Not exactly. DeBella, there's not even tears. I will say, at some point, tears do happen, but we'll talk about that when that occurs, because it's not for Beck. I can tell you that.
Okay, that's fair. Here's the screenshot.
I love how Amber's all crying and upset, and then at the end she goes, that's fair. But okay, so what was happening around September 7th in order to that?
Also, let's just look at this. For 2 months, Beck did not, well, I guess a month and a half, Beck did not respond to ALR, okay? We see the last time there was a text, it was Amberlynn on July 31st, 2022. And Beck, September 7th of 2022, sent this stop talking about me. And if we remember at this time, immediately after the breakup and Jade moved herself in, or Amberlynn moved Jade in, she instantly would not shut up about Beck. And then for 2 years went on to diminish and belittle and make fun of Beck in almost every other video, to the point that we all made, as a community, a joke saying everything is Beck's fault. That's literally how much Amberlynn was talking about this person, that jokes were being formed around it, and it's still used to this day. But Amberlynn's gonna say that, I got this text and I just never talked about them again. It's actually like she really forgets that we have her videos to disprove her lies.
Made Beck get so upset about Amberlynn talking about them. This is what was happening. The day before Beck sent that message, that text message, Amberlynn uploaded a video called How She Proposed, Wifey Taking Down.
Also, can we just like acknowledge the fact of how much smaller Amberlynn is just in this photo? That's crazy. And Amberlynn is trying to convince us that she is this size right now. Y'all, shit is not adding up. How is she crying about this message? I can see being pissed, but crying. Because, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's stupid, Gianluca, but like, it's all a sympathy grab. This is what the entire thing is to set a narrative of poor Amberlynn Reed, and Beck swore Amber, and I'm gonna cry about it, in hopes that you all forget that I literally abused the shit out of this individual for 4 fucking years online. Like, for everyone to see. The audacity of Beck to finally defend themselves. I know, honestly, Veronica, it's the most disgusting and like disrespectful thing that Beck could do. How dare she? How dare they? The fake crying is always so irritating. She really thinks she's an actress. She really does, and she does that on TikTok too. She really thought she was doing something. All right.
On subreddits and beginning of foster care, blah, 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 whatever that said after that. Now, we all know, we knew who Amberlynn was talking about. She didn't even need to put Beck's name in the title when it said How She Proposed.
And also, like, this whole video was literally there to humiliate Beck. That's what it was about. It was to humiliate Beck, embarrass Beck, be like, look how lame this person is, look how stupid, and was like in the video saying like, I had always dreamed about like how I would be proposed, and it definitely wasn't like this, and like it was kind of embarrassing, and like we were both like so like sloppy, we hadn't like showered, we were in our pajamas, like it was like this whole thing about like how just absolutely shitty this proposal was. And and she wants us to believe like it was just so innocent, I was just sharing a video.
Talking about Beck, obviously. Now, I watched the part of that video where she's talking about Beck.
Insolent Violet, why does she hate Beck so much? She seems like she hated her all along. Beck goes by they, them, just so you know. But I think that Amberlynn really believed that they were below her. And when Beck finally stood up after 4 years of being beaten the fuck down, I think that really released like a spiteful rage in Amberlynn. Like, how dare this person that's so beneath me behave, like, get away from me. And on top of it, have a voice and speak out against me. I think that was like really, I think that really got to Amberlynn. Because again, as we know, and as Beck literally told us in their live, Amberlynn literally said if she was skinny, I'm paraphrasing, but if she was skinny, she would be in California, she would not talk to any of the people in her life, which was Eric, Ricky, and Beck, and she'd just be this hot little thing, and like she would never be in Kentucky. And Amberlynn literally asked, Beck literally asked, like, are you, like, you really think that you're better than us? Like, you think that we're trash? And she said, yeah, I do. And they were dating at the time. So, like, Amberlynn truly believed that, and still probably at this point still believes, that she is just so beyond measures compared to Beck. And the fact that Beck is being so supported and so loved and, like, and also just using their voice and people are supporting them in that, it just is making Amberlynn go crazy.
And the way she was talking about Beck in the proposal was incredibly rude, in my opinion. She was belittling Beck. and their proposal. She was laughing.
Yeah, I get it. Like, Amberlynn was desperate, and that's why she went with them, is because she was desperate and she needed someone to rebound after Beck, or after Destiny. And I also think that she thought that if she got with someone quickly, Destiny would be like, oh, okay, never mind, I actually want to be with you. And then she ended up getting stuck with someone that she didn't care about, and instead just decided to abuse them for 4 years.
At them, she was shaming them.
Yeah.
She was basically making a joke out of this proposal. Now, is the proposal story kind of silly? From an outside perspective, it is. But for Beck, that was what they chose, the way that they chose to propose to the woman who they felt like they loved. And for Amberlynn to get up on her platform and to make a joke out of it and to basically laugh and mock Beck.
Oh, yeah. Amanda McSee, I forgot, she also said she would never talk to anyone her size, ever. If she was skinny, she would never talk to anyone her size. So it's interesting that you say, yeah, she already said that before. In a vlog, she said she'd never date anyone her size. All her partners ended up gaining weight because of her anyway. Yeah, exactly. She is the fat phobic one. She constantly, calls all of us fat phobic when, to be honest, her weight is the least interesting part about her and is really only a symptom of her mental health issues, and just as an example of her mental health issues, but it's all projection. She is the fat phobic one.
In front of a large audience, it felt very mean girl and very cruel. So it's no wonder that Beck sent that text message the next day. They sound pissed off. I would be too. And good on them for standing up for themselves.
So that's fair.
Jordy even went back and pointed out the proposal story was completely unprompted simply because Beck shared a life update and mentioned they watched a reaction channel. Yeah. Literally, it came out of nowhere. At that point, it had been 2 years, or at least a year. Wait, they broke up in 2020, right? So it had been 2 years. And then suddenly Amberlynn came out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, which is so stupid. And again, it all was to embarrass Beck. And to be honest, I don't think it was embarrassing. I think that could have been a cute proposal. Maybe that's a cute little you them thing. You didn't need to go sharing it with them unless you both decided that. That was there to, exactly what Salty Crab said, be a mean girl. And Amberlynn is 100% a mean girl. She is she really tries to be this poppy little cute little California bitch. And she's not, but her personality is that.
Okay, so I stopped talking about them.
Except for the fact that she didn't. Because a week later, she made another video talking about Beck, even putting their name in the title. And let's take a look at what she was saying about Beck in that video.
I couldn't care less if Becky spoke about me. She could speak about me in every single one of her videos, and I would not care. She doesn't want me speaking about her, which, fine, that's great. But I spent the last 5 years of my life with her, surrounded by her family, surrounded by her friends, surrounded by her energy, her circle.
Amberlynn is a super morbidly obese Regina George. She is. And she really thinks, the craziest part is, I don't think she genuinely understands what she looks like. I think it is so, she had, and she said this before, she has body dysmorphia in the way that, she views herself as smaller than she is. And she definitely views herself as way prettier than she is. I'm not saying she's just this ugly human being. I think she's a very average looking individual. I think even if she was skinny, she'd be a very average looking individual. And that's fine. Most of us, there's a reason why it's called average looking. That's okay. But she views herself, it says in a video, she views herself like she's like Bella Hadid out here. She really thinks that she if she was just skinny, she'd be on Victoria's Secret's runway out here, be on the cover of Vogue. She has such an inflated ego. It is actually so crazy. Professor Buck, also as a Californian, we do not claim Amber. I also respect that. To be honest, she hasn't lived there for almost 20 years. So she can say it all she wants, but she's lived in the South longer than she's lived in California at this point. So she's more Southern, and she hates that because, again, she, like someone said, she's a classist, and she views people from certain areas as below people from other areas, which is a disgusting mindset to have, especially because people don't choose where they're born, where their families are. It's not up to the person. Maybe later on in life, but you can't help like where you're born and where you live and where your family is. It's just so stupid. Maria, and the narcissism to mask her deep-seated insecurities and self-hatred. Yeah, absolutely. I think I think the Yankel has said this a lot, but most narcissists have some of the lowest self-esteem. Like, it's all built around the fact that on some level, definitely, like, on some level, they understand that they actually are not superior and that they're not that great. And so they build up this delusion and this grander self-esteem in order to kind of essentially delude themselves into the realizations that they have about themselves. She believes the TikTok glow-ups. She's got part dysmorphia hard. She does. She literally dresses like a 15-year-old TikToker dude still. And it's like so weird. She really thinks that she's that girl. And she's definitely not that girl. Also, with the whole Beck thing in this, when she's sitting here and goes on to say, like, I was in Beck's world, and like, it's unfair that I don't get to speak about them. You had said, again, for almost 2 years at this point, you would not speak about them and only spoke about them as a way to blame them for things that they had nothing to do with, to belittle them, to humiliate them, to say how they were less than you. If you were sitting there and genuinely talking about like just random little experiences that you had in your relationship, like authentically, I don't think they would have cared. But it was the fact that you were shitting on them. You only talked about them to shit on them. And so they said, okay, then stop talking about me, because it's clearly like has nothing else to, like, you're just doing this to shit on me, you know? But Amberlynn, again, is the victim in all of this.
Have those 5 years be just taken from me, and I can't even share memories. I can't. It's like
the thing is, Amber, you could share memories, but you're not sharing memories. You're just shitting on someone.
5 years are being erased from my life, and that's hard for me. She doesn't want me talking about her. Fine, I won't.
Isn't it interesting how much Amberlynn complained in that clip about how Beck...
Sandy Quesadilla, shut up. Everyone liked the stream, or else I'll make you play choosy. Y'all, I think I don't believe in the death penalty. However, I do believe in life in prison. And I think that one of the like punishments in life in prison should be that you have to play choosy at least an hour a day. With the most random things. I do think that should be part of your punishment. So like if you like are like a mass murderer, you know, like you just like killed like 40 women, like kept kids in your basement, like I think that should be part of your sentence, is playing choosy. I don't know. Let's make that happen.
And one, her talking about them and how she felt like 5 years of her life were being erased from her. But yet when Beck decides to come out and share their memories from that time, oh, it's a huge problem. Now listen as Amberlynn talks about all the things that she wants to say about Beck, but she's not, quote unquote, allowed to. In my opinion, she makes it sound like she has these horrible, awful stories about Beck that she really wants to tell us, but Beck just won't let it happen. And in my opinion, she was doing that to try to get the audience to turn on Beck and be mad at them and maybe even go after them.
It just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, Amberlynn did that from the very beginning of Beck breaking up on the live stream. The very first live stream where they broke up, Amberlynn instantly went into trying to turn the audience against Beck. Instantly said that Beck should feel like shit. Why would you do this to me? It's crazy. Would read people sending hate comments to Beck, which is just unnecessary. Like, you're choosing to do that. Anytime Beck would get like nice information or whatever, Amberlynn would, or like messages, Amberlynn would say, oh, like they're just lying to you. They're just trying to troll you. Like it was crazy. And like for the 2 years and onward, honestly, since now, the whole thing has been trying to discredit Beck, trying to diminish Beck so that the audience doesn't like has some seed of doubt as to what Beck is saying. And she's been doing that for like years now. And it's obviously not working because we all know who Amberlynn is as a person, but she still is attempting to do this.
Because it's like, I have so many things I want to say. So many things I want to say. You guys have no idea. Like, she's not forcing me to do shit. Like, no one can force me to do anything. I'm just very much that type of person where I like to talk about my past. And I like to talk about things I've been through and experiences I've been through. You
like to use them as a weapon. That's what you like to do. You like to use it as a way to justify your shitty behavior. That's why you bring up your past. You don't bring up good things about your past. We don't hear fun stories about your past. Every single thing about your past is negative because it's a way for you to garner sympathy. That's what it's about. I will keep screaming this. 60 to 64 inches around is 5'4", 5'4" around. That's as tall as it is wide. Yeah, y'all. And honestly, people are saying this too. She's closer to like 5'1", 5'2". She continuously lied about her height, and I think it was to like, for her, maybe she thinks that like it lessens the severity of her weight, but she suddenly started like upping her height. We throughout the years we have heard so many different height versions of her, but I think she's closer to 5'1", 5'2".
What I consider being silenced.
Amberlynn with the silence.
And it sucks because, like I said, there's a lot that
you can't be silenced if you have a whole ass channel where you continue to post shit about the other person. You ain't silenced, babe. No one's got a court order against you. No one's got a gun against your head. No one's literally threatening your life. Okay? If you don't want to not talk about them, that's fine. But then you have to understand that there's going to be repercussions to that. People are going to call you out for what you're doing. And that's what you don't like. You're not being silenced. And you, once again, never stopped talking about Beck. So there has been no silence. You can't be silenced and simultaneously have 244,000 subscribers and post every other day and do live streams. Babe, that's literally not the definition of silence.
I feel in my heart that I would like to discuss and say, but I'm just not going to because I'm not that person. If someone says literally to me, stop talking about me, then I'm gonna do it.
So Amber is very much that.
But she doesn't do it. So I guess she's not that person. Amberlynn really views herself as like fucking like a saint out here, and the girl is the furthest thing away from that. Like it's crazy. And also, again, I know I say this all the time, but it's just so weird to me that she lies about these things as if we don't have video evidence that she posts about it. That's the craziest thing. She's posting the evidence that is going against her lies, and she doesn't get it. It's such a bizarre concept to me.
Person who wants to talk about her past and things that she went through, and that's fine. But now that Beck is doing that and has a lot of people's eyes on them, we can't have that, can we, Amber?
And in the proposal story, I didn't even say Beck's name, you know. And
girl, please.
Obviously everyone knew what it was about, so that's my bad.
Teresa Lynn.
And I shouldn't have done that. But at the time, like, I felt like
Salty Crab is so funny. The fucking zoom into the
hey, if they're allowed to make videos and say what they want, like, I should be allowed to as well.
Amber, you did that for 4 years, okay? You uploaded Beck in the shittiest positions, forcing Beck to vlog for you for 4 years. You had the complete control over the narrative of what people saw of you and Beck. So if you don't like the fact that people caught on to your bullshit and saw the abuse, even though you tried to curate it and thought that what you were posting wasn't showing that, That's on you, babe. That's because you're not that smart, babe, okay? It's not, oh, well, I get to share my story now. You shared your story. This is now Beck's turn to share their story. It's like, Amberlynn constantly has to have the last word, but it's not going to work out for you.
Oh, Beck obviously sent that, so I was like, okay.
Amberlynn is a loser.
All right.
Okay.
So I did stop talking about them.
You didn't.
And I think what was hard at the time for me was...
Let's hear about how hard it was for Amberlynn to not shit talk back, y'all. It was really hard. It was really hard that she couldn't shit talk her ex that she abused for 4 years. Ugh, let's all, y'all, moment of silence for Amberlynn. Moment of silence. All right, thank you.
Beck started making videos about me while telling me, don't talk about me, keep my fucking name out your mouth, or I'm going to get the law involved.
Yeah, she sounds so dumb. Also, the videos that Beck was posting at the time about Amberlynn were so, like, low. I was going to say low level. That's not what I mean. Like, they were so, like, surface level of the experience that Beck had, went through. It was very superficial stuff. And this, again, was coming out after Amberlynn continued to talk about Beck, you know? This wasn't just, like... Yeah, again, Amberlynn is, like, trying to spin a narrative and, like, trying to reframe the context of the situation.
That's just not exactly true.
Yeah,
Beck was not making.
Beck's videos were super tame, like super, super tame. Meanwhile, like Amberlynn was sitting there like straight up dogpiling onto Beck at every little turn. Literally blamed Beck for her cancer, you know? And Beck's like, yeah, like sometimes she made me do things I didn't want to do, you know? Like it was not at all the same.
Videos about Amberlynn, you can go back on their channel and see the types of videos they were making. Now, they did make a couple videos about all of their previous relationships, and yes, Amberlynn was included in one of those videos. But this was not a situation where Beck was dragging Amber through the mud. They really didn't say that much about her. They didn't.
And to be honest, what they did say, they were still very respectful. Especially for what we're hearing now. And even now, as Beck is telling, I would say, the closest that we'll get to the full story of what happened, Beck is still very respectful about Amberlynn. Still. And Amberlynn has never shown that respect to Beck when they were in the relationship with them and afterwards. So I don't know what Amberlynn's talking about.
Get into any details or share any personal stories. This is basically all that they had to say about Amber.
And I will say, you know, there were plenty of good times, plenty of bad times. You know, I'm not going to go into details. I know people want me to, but I'm not going to do it. But I will say, I did love her. I loved her a lot. But looking back on it and thinking about, you know, the connection and all of that, it really did feel like it was just a friendship. A very...
Yeah, like Beck even said in the latest live stream, the lukewarm tea, that they started losing feelings because at one point they obviously did have feelings for Amberlynn. It took time to build up to that, but they said that as soon as they had to start being a caretaker for Amberlynn, it felt like they were just taking care of a friend. There was no romance there, and we saw that. We saw them affectionate for maybe the first few months of them dating. And after that, they didn't touch each other. When they kissed each other, it looked like a mom and kid kissing. Like when they would hug each other, it looked so uncomfortable. Like it didn't look like two romantic partners showing affection to each other. It looked forced. It looked like Amberlynn 2 minutes before putting on the camera said, kiss me, hug me, you know, hold my hand. There was no romantic feelings there, obviously on either side. Beck only came back to this time due to Amber once again being the reactor Libby's channel, talking about them again. Amber felt safe to do so because Beck had left. Lou was being nice to them. Yeah, actually, literally, like, the times that Amberlynn came out, that Beck came out were because Amberlynn started it first, right? Starting with the whole fact of putting Beck on her YouTube channel for 4 years when Beck said they did not want to be on YouTube. But yeah, the latest time, and the reason that Beck is just kind of done is, one, I think that they are obviously in a much better position and have done a lot of healing and growing. And I think processing of the relationship and the fact that they were like domestically abused in this relationship. And I think that this Beck was not so aware of that at that point. Like, I don't think they had still processed it. They were still kind of like in the throes of it all. But yeah, it was because Amberlynn sat there shitting on Beck and saying, you wouldn't believe the things that Beck did to me. You couldn't even imagine. Beck is a liar, all of this stuff. Like, and Beck wasn't talking about Amberlynn at that point. Like, and I think that at that point, Beck was like, fuck this. Like, we're not doing this anymore. I'm going to tell you the real thing that happened. And that's that. And the reason I think so many people believe Beck is because it confirms everything that we were seeing. There's no way that hundreds of thousands of people all just like happen to see the same thing that's not happening there. You know, like, it's just statistically impossible. Nicholas, sorry, it's okay that you're late. Welcome. We're only 10 minutes into this. I keep pausing a lot, y'all. Sorry.
Codependent friendship.
Yeah.
Neither one of us were doing very good. Like, my depression was bad. I was on a bunch of medications at one point. We both also fought for control of things. More her than me, but I got to the point where, you know, I was just going to do whatever I wanted to do, whether...
Right, because you're an adult and you shouldn't be controlled by the other person in the relationship. You should be able to do what you want, obviously within reason for the both of you, but no one should be under control of the other individual. You two are co-adults in a co-relationship where respect should be given on both sides, and that's not what was happening.
You wanted me to or not. I don't think I was actually in love. Yeah. I can look back and say that I did love her.
So when Amberlynn complains about how Beck was getting to say whatever they wanted about her and she couldn't say anything at all, that's all Beck had said. No details, nothing private. It was simply just them saying it wasn't a great relationship. They took ownership for their part in it and said, but they did love Amber.
So if there's internet sleuths out there, there is a phase of time, like, easily.
By the way, she says sooths instead of sleuths multiple times. And she wants us to believe that this woman, that she's a reader, y'all. All the books on her bookshelf, she definitely has read. She can definitely read beyond a 4th grade level, y'all, for sure. But she thought the word sleuths was sooths and said it multiple times. I know that some people think that she's trolling. I think she's dead ass. I do not think she can read. I do not think she is literate beyond a 4th grade level. Like, so dead ass. I do not think she is.
For like 2 years, I would not talk about Beck. I did not say a word.
Yeah, that's not true. So Amberlynn, the last time that Amberlynn put Beck's name in a title of a video was September 2022. The next time she did it, January 2024. So just a few months, a year.
Looks, y'all. I'm sorry. Look how great. First off, the fact, like, she aged so much between 2 years, which is so crazy. And she also gained so much weight. The Amberlynn in 2022 in 2024 is insane. And it's crazy because Amberlynn tries to dress younger now and she looks older. Like, and obviously y'all, we're all aging, okay? That's nothing wrong with aging. But Amberlynn aged like a crazy amount in 2 years. Like, she's not old by any means. She's 34 years old. She's young. She's still very young. If she died today, people wouldn't say, oh, she lived a long life. Well, for Amberlynn's size, yes. But in general, it, like, people would say, oh, she died so young. You know, like, 34 is not old by any means, but she has aged like crazy. And it's so wild to see that.
Few months. It was not easily 2 years like Amberlynn's saying.
I really want to, like, I would love to have, like, a conversation with Beck offline. Like, Beck can have their partner there, friends, family, a whole slew of people, and I can be by myself. Like, whatever would make them feel comfortable. Whatever.
But Amber, when you put the abuse online, and we've all said this before, when you put the abuse online, when you continue to shit talk them, FBI Sooth Frank. I'm sorry. Y'all stop. That shit's so funny. But when you put your abuse online, you continue that abuse even after you're no longer with this individual, and you continue to drag their name through the mud for 4 years, and then do all of this, shit talk them in different live streams, blame them for this, that, and the other thing, including your cancer, online on your public platform where hundreds of thousands of people are seeing this. You don't get to then take accountability and be called out for your actions in the comfort of your home privately. That's not how that works, Amberlynn. You do things in public, expect the consequences to be in public. If you didn't want this to be talked about in public, you shouldn't have posted your domestic violence for 4 years to Beck on your YouTube channel. You did that. That was your choice. So these are your consequences. But Amberlynn truly does not believe that she lives in the same world as the rest of us, that she has to follow the same rules as the rest of us.
Make them feel comfortable, safe, whatever it may be. Because, like, doing this online, like, is a lot. Because the thing, like, I get, like, in my videos, because I look back, I see in some of my videos, I was, like, pretty harsh to Beck. And for that, I'm sorry. Especially, like, doing it.
It's crazy because that's one of her accountability moments. Is she's like, yeah, I was pretty harsh to Beck. No, babe, you abused Beck. You weren't pretty harsh to Beck. That's like when you are, like, you scold your child and maybe you were a little bit dramatic with your kid. You know, they spilled some water and you're like, why did you do that? And then later on you're like, I was kind of harsh. Like, you know, they're a kid. They spilled some water. Who cares? No, you abused Beck, okay? You weren't a little harsh to Beck. She's literally downplaying her abuse, which is wild.
Publicly, like, it's pretty awful, really. But, like, the things that happen, like,
I love Salty Crab, the slow butt. Yeah, you can't sit there and take accountability and then say, but, like, yeah, I was harsh to Beck, but I abused Beck, but it's, no, babe, no.
Not online. Like, I would love to be able to, like, have that conversation, like, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, of course, because you still think that you have any power over Beck. You still think that if you could get Beck alone in a room, that you could sway them into thinking a certain way. Because for a very long time, you had complete control over them and the way they thought and what they talked about and what they did. And that's just not the case anymore, Amberlynn. And to be honest, it's wild as a person who claims to have been so abused in their childhood and adulthood that you think a person who is saying that they were abused by you wants to go talk to their abuser. Like, are you so fucking real right now? Like, this again is why I don't believe her abuse stories. I don't believe them. I'm sorry. And I am a person that 99.999% of the time, I will believe the victim. But Amberlynn is not a victim, and we can see that. We see it in her vocabulary, we see it in the way she speaks about these things, and we see it in the fact that she thinks a person would want to talk to their abuser in a room alone. Oh, well, you can bring your girlfriend if you want. You can bring your fiance if you want. No, I wouldn't want to even look at you. I wouldn't want to be breathing the same air as you. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I blocked the person that I had an abusive past with on everything. I can't even stand to look at their names, let alone would ever want to speak to them again. And she wants to sit here and have like a sit down and a little kiki with some tea talking to Beck. Are you delusional? Like, truly and so seriously, are you delusional?
there's not much I can really do about that.
Well, Amber, I don't think Beck has any interest in talking to you. They've stated they aren't looking for an apology. They're not trying to hash it out, make things right with you. They simply wanted to just tell their side of story.
Blue Dodger fan, yes, I was 550 pounds at 44, became bedbound from a fall, took me 2.5 years to learn to walk. Also, I lost 360 pounds. Oh my gosh, Blue Dodger fan, that is crazy. Round of applause, y'all. Round of applause. That is so crazy. Good for you. I'm sorry that you went through that, but I'm so proud of you. That is a huge feat. She's downplaying it. She said Zachary Michael was abusive, yet she can't say that about herself. Yeah, she literally called Zachary Michael, like, abusive because he said, fuck you. That's literally, he said, fuck you. And again, we saw Amberlynn sitting there crying and, like, quivering, reading the text of Beck saying, keep my name out of your mouth, fuck off. Yeah, Amberlynn can't see the documented abuse that she posted for what it is, which is abuse. It's actually, like, she literally does not live in the world that we all live in. I'm glad you're doing better, Blue Dodger fan. Yes, that's great. I also had to pay $6,000 a month for personal care. Wow. That's wild. I mean, I'm glad you're not in that situation anymore, but that's crazy. I didn't realize it'd be, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but, like, I wouldn't have thought about that, like, about how expensive it would be. So she believes Emily was a victim of DV, but Beck wasn't. Yeah, of course, because Amberlynn was getting something out of Emily, right? Amberlynn was allowed to be the fat ass that she desired to be without being questioned, and essentially gave Amberlynn what she wanted. And it fit the narrative. And also, I think at that point, Emily was already backing out of the relationship. And I think Amberlynn thought that this would keep Emily in the relationship. But she'll never call herself out. Because, again, she's a full narcissist and, like, sociopath or psychopath. I don't know what it is. Some behavioral thing like that. And she genuinely does not have remorse for people. She does not have empathy for people. She doesn't understand that, like, her actions have, like, effects on other people. Like, truly. And that's why it's so hilarious that she calls herself an empath. Her brother debunked most of the father abusing her mom stuff. Her mom was photographed with Amber's dad at a family reunion. I'm sure he was mean, but, like, everything else, she makes it sound more bad. Yeah, like I said, like, I absolutely do not think Amberlynn had a good childhood, okay? It's impossible to have a good childhood when your parents are struggling with a drug addiction. So, like, I get that. But Amberlynn took a bad situation already on its own, and still, it wasn't bad enough in her mind that she had to start creating more and more things. And it's so easy to catch the lies because they don't make sense, you know, like it doesn't make sense, Amber. Okay.
That Amber's been telling and profiting from for years. Also, Amber, I thought you wanted to be accountable for your actions. So why are you wanting to do things in private?
Right.
And I know a lot of people are like, you are not a victim. I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm saying that there's two people in this story, and one of them isn't being honest about the situation at hand.
That's crazy. The abuser sits here on live stream making a shit ton of money because she's getting crazy amounts of super chats in this video and says, I'm not a victim, but I am saying that one person in the relationship is lying about what happened. Amber, I wonder who you think that is. You literally are sitting there gaslighting and telling the person who is saying, I feel abused by you. These are the things I did to you. And everyone else being like, that's abusive, and saying, no, it's not. They're lying. Sure, you literally have video evidence of it, but they're lying. She's literally a special place in hell, y'all. I swear to God, there is a little plot in hell labeled Amberlynn fucking Reed. And it's just waiting for her to get there in about 5 years. I've never seen her demonstrate empathy. Nope. But for accountability, I'm sure she's digging for outrage for the money. The thing is, like, sure, but the super chats that at least she responds to are all positive, and she's only reading the positive comments. Like, she's not really reading any legitimate things that I saw in the 40 minutes that I watched. She's parking a place next to Dick Cheney, for real, y'all, for real.
So she's like, I'm not saying I'm a victim, but someone is lying about me.
Okay. Lucerios. Okay. Maybe big.
How is that not the same thing?
I'm just like accounting for bones at this point, you know?
I'm not perfect.
No, you ain't, babe.
Beck wasn't perfect. Like, I was super controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me. Like, always. Like, it was crazy. And it was... I'm able to admit that, and I'm sorry for that, and that's wrong. Beck is their own individual, their own person, and they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Oh, thank God Amberlynn Reed gave Beck permission to be able to do whatever they want. A grown-ass adult needed the permission of a morbidly obese woman who can't get off her couch and literally has to be driven around to be given permission to do stuff. And I'd also like for all of us to pay attention to the fact that the accountability, again, that she's taking is that, one, she spoke to Beck harsh, and two, that she just needed Beck around her all the time. Like, sure, it wasn't great, but at the time she just felt like she needed Beck. That's the extent of her accountability. Bro, I fucking can. And yeah, this here, she really does have tears at this point. The tears are because she has gotten caught. The tears are because she's losing the narrative of the situation. That's what the tears are for. They're not for Beck. They're not because of the situation that happened. It's because Amberlynn, on some level, I think knows that she's gotten got. People don't believe her. People don't fuck with her. And she's lost the control of any little amount of the narrative that she at one point had. It's a what do you call it? A bruise to her narcissistic ego. And it's absolutely killing her right now.
For some reason at the time, it felt like I needed them always.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm able to realize that I was not perfect.
Now, Amber's about to have a bit of a meltdown, start crying, and just FYI.
Yeah, absolutely. They're googs, they're completely tears for herself. They are not tears for anything that she did to Beck, the situation that she put Beck through, just the sadness of how the relationship went. It's all for herself.
In my opinion, these tears are they're not about what she did to Beck.
Yeah.
The tears are for herself. She's tearing up because she's about to tell you something that Beck said years ago, that she thinks it's going to make it look like that she and Beck were equally abusive to each other. She wants you to forget everything that you heard that she did to Beck, because you're about to hear one thing that was said, that Beck said, that's going to show you just how evil Beck is. And that's why she's crying, because this is her proof, according to her, that Beck was just as bad as she was.
Yeah, so like, again, like Salty Crab said, we're about to like hear a text or something that Beck said. Again, I just want to also remind you, this live was not meant to bash or come for Beck, but so far, all we have gotten is Amberlynn bashing and coming for Beck and discrediting Beck and showing how Beck was also a really shitty person and has yet to really take any legitimate accountability. Amber, you look stupid.
And it's like, I hate, like, having to do, like, two things at once because it makes me feel like my apology or my accountability isn't real. But it is. Like, what I'm about to say does not take away from that, and I need people.
Here's the thing. She can scream us all she wants. If she genuinely felt that way, if she genuinely felt like, I don't want me calling out the things that I don't believe to be true to take away from the accountability that I genuinely want to take right now, you could make a video and just take accountability and not put all this bullshit as a way for you to hide and diminish the abuse that you put Beck through. That's what this is all about. It's about trying to build up this big wall so everyone looks over at the wall and says, oh my gosh, look at everything Beck did. Like, we're going to forget everything that Amberlynn did. That's what this is all about. It's a way to curtail our attention away from the real situation, which is Amberlynn was an abusive partner. She was a domestic abuser, and she videotaped it for everyone to see online. So yeah, I don't believe this because your actions prove otherwise. It's up to you, Amber. You are in full control of what you post on your live, and you could have taken accountability, said what you had actually done, and if you really needed to, make another video later on and say, here are the things that I don't think are 100% true. Here are the things that I interpreted differently, and have gained way more respect from your audience, and maybe Beck too, although I think Beck is really done with you, but at least some of your audience would have at least somewhat said, okay, fine. I don't think everyone would have liked it, but I think there would have been some respect. This Amberlynn is foolish. This is ridiculous. Not anyone is taking this seriously, and you have honestly dug yourself into a deeper, deeper hole.
To hear it. I need people to hear that.
So she says she hates that she has to do this, but who's making her do it? I mean, she calls it sticking up for herself. But really, does one thing that Beck said years ago equal the years of what she put Beck through?
Jingle bells,
Oh my God.
jingle all the way.
So anyways, I was going through.
Y'all saw the scary stories. I listened to them to fall asleep. So that's a little tidbit about me. You see this? Personally, my favorite is Grimes right now, but these are pretty good too. That's my little tidbit, y'all. Is that weird? I know. You know what? One of my best friends, he also does that. That was something that was like kind of crazy that we both found out about each other, is that we both listened to scary stories. And our partners at the time, well, he's married to his now, but my partner at the time, they both were like, you're weird, but go for it. We both had to put our phones under our pillows to listen to it. Oh, funny. Okay. Anyways, I just want to look through this quickly. The idea Beck's trauma is too long ago to talk about, but Amber constantly talks about her childhood in her mid-30s. Yeah, exactly. Amberlynn she's also trying to diminish the fact, Beck bringing it up 5 years later, 6 years later after the relationship, and she constantly says that. Yeah, Amberlynn wants us to sit here and continue to support her and allow her to make shitty, behave shittily, do shitty things. And we're all supposed to just be okay with it because she was, she had a tough childhood. Babe, your thing happened over 2 decades ago. So if we want to play timelines and longevity of traumas, yours is done. You've outdone yours. Now, horror stuff is what I fall asleep to too. Oh my gosh, awesome club. I used to listen to scary stories to fall asleep too, especially during university. Yeah, you know what? Maybe because the going through university has somewhat of a horror to itself, so it's calming. Who knows? Why is her nose not dripping with snot or her voice nasally? Does she have perfect nostrils? Yeah, y'all. I do think that obviously they're real tears, but it's not they're real and not real at the same time, if you get what I mean.
And I was looking for proof of something,
Jennifer,
which I'll show you.
It's okay. We've only made it 16 minutes into the video. I'm going to try to not pause so much.
And in it, I was saying how I quoted some things that Beck said to me. And one of the things was, I wrote down in my notes, at least my family didn't do drugs. Beck would say things like that to me. And I forgot
so what else?
that they even said that to me until I was looking at a text message from like, I think it was like 2020. And I was like, holy fuck. And it's things.
She wants us to think that, first off, I'm not supporting Beck in that, obviously. I think that's really shitty for someone to say to someone else. Okay? But I think there's a few things we have to look at. One, Amberlynn is telling us this with zero context around it. I don't think Beck one day walked up to Amberlynn in the kitchen and said, at least my family didn't do drugs, and then walked out. Obviously, there was something going on around it. What did Amberlynn have to say about Beck's family for their response to be, well, at least my family didn't do drugs? Do you know what I mean? Like, that sentence is a response to something that Amberlynn said. So, again, I'm not saying that's the correct response. I'm not saying that it's okay that Beck did that. It's not. It's a shitty thing to do. But Amberlynn thrives on on us not having the context of the situation. And that's really the annoying part of it all, is that, and she does this with a lot of things. She constantly takes little quips of things in her life and shows it to us because she thinks that it proves something, when in reality, if we actually knew the context of the situation, it'd probably be Amberlynn not looking good. Not that it's okay that Beck said that, but there's probably a reason. People don't just randomly say shit like that. You know what I mean? But of course, she's going to take away all the context because it would no longer validate her statement. It would no longer be us, well, she thinks, us sympathizing with her. Margarita, yeah, it's narcissism 101. It's taking things out of context because it's trying to fit their narrative. And it's so annoying and it's so easy to read through, but it's annoying that she does this because we're sitting here listening to it and it's just so like obvious, you know? And I wish someone would call her out on this, like to her face, that this is like, okay, show the context of it.
Like where it just, neither of us were happy.
She caught herself there. Do you guys see what just happened? This stream is supposed to be about Amberlynn is held accountable for her actions and to dispute any lies that she feels Beck said about her. But why are we hearing about something that Beck said years ago? What lie does that message dispute? This is about making Beck look bad, in my opinion. And also note, she didn't give us any context to that. I mean, Amber could have been saying really mean things about Beck's family, and Beck got offended and finally was like, well, you know what? Yeah. At least they're not drug addicts. Yeah. Is that a nice...
And to be honest, we know that Amberlynn shit on Beck's family. We know it. We saw, like someone brought up in the chat just now, we saw the voice message that Amberlynn sent to Beck's literally dying mother about the money that they were supposed to give them, but never did. We know that Amberlynn's mom did not fuck with Amberlynn, and the sisters did not fuck with Amberlynn. We know that Amberlynn viewed herself as superior to all of Beck's family and friends, and I'm sure that she probably said shit like that too. I'm sure she probably talked about how much money she makes and how much better she is. Like, we know this. So it's not like Beck is just coming out here and just saying, well, my family didn't do drugs and walks away. Like, it's clearly because Amberlynn was saying bullshit things about Beck's family, and Beck is a big family person, and I would say most people are, but like, Beck takes that shit very seriously. We saw that. They are insanely close to their family. And I know that I would imagine one thing that Beck wouldn't stand for is the way her family was being treated. I can almost guarantee that's the one thing that they would have some backbone about.
Thing to say, no, but I do feel like it's important to know the context around why that was said.
Yeah.
Again, Amber is doing this. And
I do hope that if Beck does respond to any of this, I do hope that Beck tells us that, because I'm sure that there is probably something really fucked up that, of course, Amberlynn will never tell us.
Telling us this because, in my opinion, she wants to make it seem like she and Beck were on the same level.
You have a snake, Cleb? That's so cute. Oh, sorry, snack? Is that supposed to be snack? Am I dumb? No, yeah, snack spelled with a C-K. Or do you really mean snake? Either way. I support either one.
As far as hurting each other.
Oh my God. And then I saw a message from Dana. Like, Dana was so worried about me. I think
You
it
have
was like
30 snakes? What kind of snakes? Clebe. Am I saying it right? Clebe.
20. Dana sent me this whole paragraph of like, because Dana stayed the weekend and her and Destiny did. Dana was like, you are not yourself. Like, I can tell you're not happy. Like, you don't deserve to be treated like this. Like, Dana.
So again, she wants us to think that Dana texted Amberlynn like someone would text a person that's being abused and saying, you don't seem yourself. You don't deserve to be treated this way. Girl, show us the receipts. Show us the receipts, Amberlynn. Because to be honest, I would almost guarantee that if Dana did say those things, I would guess that she was talking about the fact that you had eaten yourself to a point that you were immobile, that you were at your heaviest. You were depressed as hell for like 2 years, dude. Over 2 years with Beck. Because of the fact that you had literally eaten yourself into more of an imprisonment than you are in right now, which is crazy. You looked miserable. Your mental health was in the shitter at this point. So it was probably towards you, dude. But she wants us to think that Beck was treating Amberlynn so poorly that Dana texted her a huge long paragraph saying, oh my gosh, you don't deserve to be treated this way. You don't seem yourself anymore. Amber, shut the fuck up. For real, for real.
Like, also saw like a situation where two people were not good.
But are we going to hear if Dana texted Beck? If Dana felt worried for Beck? No, we're just hearing that Dana felt bad for you. You, the person that had full control over both her girlfriend Destiny and Beck. She was worried for you. Amber, you sound dumb. You sound real dumb.
To each other. And Dana saw like a big difference in me.
Okay, first of all, where are the receipts for this?
Yeah,
she can
exactly. I'd like to see the receipts for this. To be honest, I would really love to see the receipts. And also, we know Dana don't like your ass. Okay, we know that. So I don't foresee Dana sending this to you.
Text from Eric, text from Jade, text from Beck, but she can't pull up receipts for this conversation. And second of all, again.
Yeah, exactly. Rex the Dragon. She could have said something like, this is a bad situation for you. And Ambi blamed Beck, but it was everything. Exactly. Like, if Dana did text something like this, because this is a possibility, people at the time, and Amberlynn even said this, her friends were constantly saying that they are worried for her, that they are worried for her health, like she has changed as a human being. They're just worried because she had eaten herself to such a point that like people were worried that she was like gonna die any minute. Like that's where she was at. So I don't think it was that she was like looked at Destiny or Beck and thought, oh wow, this person is abusing the shit out of Amberlynn. No, girl. Like, again, no context to the situation. No, you're so insane.
This is more of her trying to equate everything, making it seem like everything she put Beck through, she wants us to think is just as bad as what Beck put her through. And don't forget, Beck had...
Scott, absolutely. It's nice how Amber can recall certain things that make her appear in better light, but anything bad, my BPD made me forget. Yeah, exactly. It's like... her memory is only bad when it's convenient for her. It's only bad when people bring up things. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about because it doesn't make her look good. She has to take accountability.
It's given us specific things that Amber would make them do. But so far, Amber has just given us one receipt of Beck saying, don't talk about me. And the rest has just been things Amber just wants us to take her word on.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh, a ball python. That's cool. I love watching snake videos, like the reels of snake videos. Snakes are so cool. I have a lot of respect for them. I try to keep respectful distance from them, but I love snakes.
It's just hard because it's like, a part of me fucking wishes that it was just me. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, a part of me wishes it was just me who was not a good girlfriend, not a good this, not a good that, because then it would just be so much easier for me to come on here and be like, yep, everything that Beck is saying is 100% true, and this is, like, exactly...
Amber, first off, you're a whole lie, okay? And second off, once again, like we stated before, if you really, really felt like it would be easier for you to just take accountability on the things, then you could have just made this entire live stream about taking accountability. Like you said you were going to do. I am here to be accountable. That is what you said. Not here to bash back. I am here to be accountable. That's what you said in your other live streams. Your target word currently is accountability, okay? And you have yet to take accountability. This entire thing is about bashing Beck. You have taken zero accountability. So if you really wanted, and it would be just so much easier if it was just you who was the abuser, which is true. I'm sure Beck did shit, but you were the abuser, point blank period. Then you could just account for the things that you did. And you have yet to do that.
How it is, but it's not reality.
And there we go. This stream, this I'm here to be accountable stream, this there will be no Beck bashing stream. Yeah. Here we have Amber outright accusing Beck of being a...
Yeah, I mean, first off, like, Kleb, I think. This was a money grab for Amberlynn, okay? This was maybe I can turn the tables and enough people will believe my side. But at the end of the day, this is a money grab for Amberlynn. The super chats, like I said, that were coming in were insane. Like, she made a shit ton of money off of this live stream, sitting there and bashing Beck. Like, 100%, that's all it was. It was her trying to rewrite the narrative that we all know and bashing Beck.
Bad girlfriend and making it sound like they were equally abusive to each other. Because as much as Amberlynn wants to tell us this is her trying to be accountable for what she did, she also wants us to think that there was a reason for it. Yeah. So then Amberlynn admits that the notes she took for this stream were only stuff about the alleged Beck lies that she wanted to refute. And she's just going to rely on the audience to specifically call out things for her to take accountability for. She didn't sit and make a list of, yes, I did this. No, that list is only about...
Yeah, because, again, this was never about Amberlynn taking accountability. If that's truly what she wanted to do, she could have just made the entire stream about the things that she had done. But that was never her intention. She went and sat on her ass, going through her old phones, picking out texts that made Beck look bad, picking out sentences that made Beck look bad, as a way to build a case against Beck. That was all it's about, is discrediting Beck at any point, making it seem like Beck was also an abuser, and in fact was the only abuser, and Amberlynn just made oopsies every once in a while in the relationship.
The lies she says she's here to debunk. And if you want her to take accountability for anything, well, you're just going to have to bring it up in the chat. And if you really want her to take accountability, you're going to have to pay her money and send it in a super chat.
Super Weekendul vine cu reduceri de până la 42%. La Lidl ai cremvurst polonez.
Before I start being like, well, Beck said this, but here's proof that that's not true, I would like to answer some of your guys' questions that I can be accountable for, because I don't want this to be a situation where it's like, oh, Amberlynn is just trying to prove Beck wrong or this and that. Like, no, I want to literally be...
Amber! I think it was at like the 20 or 30 minute mark of her live stream. That's all it's been so far, Amber. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Accountable. Can you guys ask me like straight questions? Because I feel like that would just genuinely be easier.
You know what you could have just done, Amber? You could have just made a list about the shit that you did. There's no way that you forgot about all the fucking abuse that you did. There's really just no fucking way, Amber. And also, she doesn't even end up answering so many of the questions, or says, I don't know what this means. I don't know how to answer that.
Read your notes. Did you not prepare anything to say? I did. but that's like, I want to go like
You
back and
was kind of into
forth.
the Romanian ads.
I thought you only have one phone. I do, actually.
Oh.
But I will notes. Did you not prepare anything to say? I did. But that's like, I want to go like back and forth. I thought you only have one phone. I do, actually. But I use one phone, which is...
Do you hear how she got caught? She's like, I do have one. Well, no, no, I only use one phone, but I have other phones. It's like I said in my reaction to when she said I only have one phone. No, she keeps all her phones. She has multiple phones. Like, you're so silly, Amber. You're really so silly. And she got caught, and you could literally see her brain go, oh, fuck. I just lied about this. I literally just lied about this. Like, you literally saw her brain misfire.
This guy. I went into my storage unit, and I got my phone from when I was actually dating Beck.
Also, this is her lie face. This is her, like, you caught me, but I have a way out of it, but you caught me face. Like, it's like the smile and like, no, like, this is what happened, you guys.
So I went all the way to my storage unit and got it, plugged it in, charged it.
Also, just so y'all know and remember, her storage is down the hall. It's just down the hall. She makes it seem like she had to, like, trek Mount Everest to go get the phone. Had to go and plug it in, y'all. Had to wait for it to charge. No, y'all, she went down the hall, plugged in her phone, okay? It probably took for Amberlynn, probably took like an hour. But for any normal person, probably would take 5 minutes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so y'all just heard that. She said that she went all the way to her storage unit, which is in the same building that she lives in. But she went to the trouble of getting her old phone out and going...
To be fair, Veronica, I think most of us have a similar phone. But... they're expensive as hell, so I ain't throwing it away.
Through it. So these receipts should be pretty good, right? These receipts are going to be able to prove that Beck has been lying to their audience about Amber, right? Let's find out. So the first quote-unquote lie that she wants to debunk is...
oh my gosh, Jennifer, I bet you she does. She probably has a freaking Nokia from high school just chilling on her nightstand. That is so funny. Oh my god.
the whole Disney World, Disneyland story.
Did you tell Beck your foster parents didn't let you go to Disney? No.
Because Amber is, like, kind of a hoarder, for being honest. And also, I don't know, Amberlynn doesn't have a life, and she probably goes and looks back at old text messages. She probably looks back at old text messages of her and Destiny back in the day, and she's like, she got away. I let her get away. But, yeah, I mean, a girl don't got a life, so she probably be looking at texts. Also, she probably uses her phone to be doing such things, if we're being honest. I bet you she probably has, like, a bunch of different accounts on different phones, because she probably doesn't realize that she can have multiple accounts on Instagram on the same phone, so she probably uses different phones. She ain't smart, y'all.
So Beck is mixing two completely different stories together. And what's really crazy about this is there's actually a clip of me, Beck, Ricky, and Eric. Eric and Ricky are people who were really good friends, and we lived with them. We were all sitting at the dining room table, and me and Eric Ricky was talking about a time that he was in jail, and Beck was like, I don't remember this. And Eric was like, how do you not remember that? And then me and Eric actually are sitting there. There's like a clip of this online, so you can go see it. Me and Eric were like, Beck, like, you're always, like, remembering, like, certain stories that, like, 3 different stories and, like, combining them together, and, like, you're not...
So this was all used as a way to be like, remember, you guys, there's a video online, because I do remember this. They were, like, all around the table, and they were talking about something. She didn't have to say that Ricky was in jail. I don't know if that was said, but, like, unnecessary information. But Beck started saying a story, and Eric was like, no, you're, like, combining stories right now. That was at the time, by the way, I believe this was when Beck was, like, taking medication and, like, zonked out, like, in the beginning of that. So, like, okay. But also, this is Amberlynn's way to once again discredit Beck, right? Remember, you guys, there's literally video proof of us telling Beck that they mix up stories. So you can't believe anything that Beck says, because they're constantly mixing up stories. So don't believe anything they say. I wasn't an abuser. They're just mixing up a story. They're probably mixing up me with another girlfriend. Amber, you're so easy to read through. Did y'all see the Insta she was following? Pure disgust. I did not see the actual Instagram that she was following, but I do know that it was PDF stuff, which is actually so gross. And I'm sorry, but you can't accidentally follow an Instagram. You can accidentally like a photo. That shit I've done so many times. I'm very careful now when I'm stalking people. Or when, I'm looking through a friend that's like showing me someone. But you can't, everyone knows it's literally virtually impossible to accidentally follow a page on Instagram. It's just not set up that way. Like you have to knowingly follow it. So I think our girl is definitely into some nasty shit. But and the whole lie about like, oh well, like they sent me this really gross thing. Why is this page sending you a mean message? That just seems weird. But she's like, I went through and then I like went to block them, but I accidentally followed them. Girl, when you block someone on Instagram, it literally shuts off the page. You can only see their username and photo, and it'll say blocked. Like you can't see anything else. You can't see their followers. You can't see any of the things that they posted. You can't even see like anything that's in their what do you call it? Like we can write like things. You can't see any of it. You just see their username and it says blocked. So please miss me with that. Like that whole thing was such a fucking lie. And it was just so tragically bad. And again, Amberlynn is a really bad liar because she is not smart. And she keeps not realizing that because she, again, has deluded herself into thinking she's intelligent. So she thinks that we are all below her and she can lie to us and we're just all going to believe it.
Remembering, and that's what's happening.
Okay, so
that's what's happening, you guys. That's what's happening. The abuse that Beck remembers, the details that they are giving us right now, they're just combining stories. Crazy.
Debunking this lie is just to say Beck got the stories mixed up, and we're supposed to take Amberlynn's word for it because her receipt, her proof, is a clip where Eric tells Beck they get their stories mixed up a lot.
Yeah.
So my foster parents were getting their kitchen renovated, and there was some sort of like fume type thing that actually made it to where we had to leave the home for a few days and stay in a hotel. And instead of staying in a hotel, well, they stayed in the hotel. My brother stayed at a friend's house, but they stayed in a hotel and I stayed in the garage.
But like, why, Amber? Did you not have anyone to stay with? Why would they not take you? That's such a weird thing. This family that took you on family vacations, were good to you, built you a room, didn't take you to a hotel when their house is being fumigated or whatever. That doesn't make sense, Amber. Unless you asked to stay, which would make more sense, I don't see that happening. And to be honest, I don't believe that they would let you just stay. I would imagine that they would want you to be under supervision of someone. Because you're still like, even though they're foster care, like you're still a ward of the state, just under a foster care family. But you're still like, something happens, like, the state gets involved. Like, so that doesn't make sense, Amber. Again, your stories don't make sense. They don't add up.
At a hotel called the Sheraton, which in Petaluma, California, at the time, that was like the best hotel there was there, et cetera, et cetera. Disneyland, I've talked about Disneyland multiple times. I've gone more than once. So when I was with Beck, I very much shared that I went to Disneyland. Very much.
How is the story even true? A 2-bedroom hotel isn't that bad. How did she even eat? Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't make sense. How did she, like... none of it makes sense. Where did she sleep? Like, how did she shower? How is she brushing her teeth? Like, none of that makes sense, Amber. I don't believe they just, closed the garage door on you and said, see you in a few days. Like, that doesn't make sense, Amber. It really doesn't make sense.
Oh, so she very much shared it, guys. So it must be true, I guess, right? No real receipts for it, though.
No, of course
not. Why were you completely unable to recognize how Beck felt and their emotions for the entirety of your 4-year relationship? Well, you have to be more specific because
well, you have to be more specific, you guys. Because I'm an empath, but I can't tell emotions. So you have to be more specific. Do you mean when I made them play Choosy for multiple days in a row? Hours on end? That she didn't like that? Or that they didn't like that? Or do you mean that I made them pick lint off of me for 45 minutes? And they didn't like that? And they were asking me to stop? Or was it when I would call and keep harassing them when they were seeing their dying mother? Or when they were just seeing their mother and family, but that I didn't let them go see their dying mother? Was it that one? I don't know, you guys. You guys have to be more specific, but I am an empath. I feel what everyone else feels. I cry when you cry. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. But you guys have to be more specific. Amber, you're a fucking joke, bruh.
Sometimes I did know exactly how they felt because they told me. And
Amber, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. One, the fact that they had to tell you how they felt when it's pretty obvious when people are not interested in something or upset about something. Like, that's basic. And that's coming from someone who's autistic and struggles with a lot of things. The core emotions, I got pretty down. Those are pretty easy to see. You had to be told how someone felt. And the craziest part is you still didn't care. You continued to do what you wanted to do. You didn't care about their emotions. You didn't care how they felt. You continued because it made you feel good, because it soothed your anxiety, because for you it was a comfort, because you needed them around you all the time. It was about you. They told you how they felt and you still didn't give a shit. And that's honestly the craziest part of it all.
Realizing that there was a lot of times that they lied. I think a really good example.
There's a lot of times that they lied, you guys. Not that they were in survival mode. Not that they probably did things to, when you're in an abusive relationship, or like you have things that are like, you're in a narcissistic relationship, and I have this from firsthand experience, you end up doing things that you don't want to do, and sometimes we'll even say, oh, this is fine, yeah, sure, I like this thing, because you know that saying the other thing will cause an explosion. It will cause more damage than just kind of gritting your teeth and doing whatever it is that they want you to do and getting it over with. That's called survival, Amberlynn. And again, if you truly had the traumatic upbringing that you want us all to believe, if you truly were domestically abused by Casey, you would understand that. But instead, you're framing it, and this is why words are 100% what are very important in these things. Sorry, I looked over and saw 1,000 and then I said 100. But this is why words are so important, especially when Amberlynn uses them, is that you said they lied. They lied about it. Not that they were trying to survive a situation. Not that they did things that you're now realizing they didn't want to do, but at the time they said they did, and you can understand maybe why that would happen. No, you're straight up psychopath. You're straight up. You're literally victim blaming right now, which is so bizarre.
That would be like choosy, or when they would give me the anxiety massage. It's just partner, emotional regulation, making your partner feel good and safe and loved.
Okay, hang on. So according to Amberlynn, playing a game where you choose which sticker you...
She doesn't even speak English. She only speaks victim fluently. Y'all, she doesn't even do that correctly. Because a person, she's not even good at it. She's not even good at it. No one believes she's a victim at this point. That's the craziest part, is she doesn't speak anything fluently. She does speak fluently. She speaks manipulation fluently, and she speaks narcissism fluently. But it's just crazy.
Like the most, a game that could take days to complete.
So actually, it was Brussels, I believe, right? Belgian French, not Brussels. It was Belgian French. That the girl was from Belgium, so they spoke Belgian French, obviously. But yeah, she had a huge following for a second, and then that quickly dissipated Jennifer Linifer, thank you so much for the super chat. I want to thank you for the shout out a few weeks ago. Take my money and get something for the adorable Mr. Dimitri. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Let me show you him real quickly. Can you see him? Oh, that's kind of hard. He's sitting right there. Okay. That wasn't very good, but thank you so, so much. That is so sweet. Y'all are amazing. I will definitely purchase something for Dimitri. I'm thinking I want to get him one of those automatic lasers that like go on and like go around. So I think that'll be his next purchase because he deserves it. He's a good little boy. Let's move this. But thank you. Are you staying still? I will. Okay. How the bloody hell was Beck partner playing choosy emotion regulation for Amber? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, y'all, like, it wasn't, right? Like, that was just what Amberlynn says now as a way to, like, somehow make it okay that they forced someone to do that, that clearly didn't want to do it, and said that they were, like, constantly, you know, said that they didn't want to do it. But it was a way to continue to isolate Beck. It was a way to take up Beck's time, to show that, like, doesn't matter, you don't want to do something, I'm going to make you do it anyway. And you're going to sit here and you're going to do it with me for hours and you can't do anything about it. That's my opinion.
Lead. That makes her feel good and safe and loved, as does plucking invisible lint off of her back. Yeah. But does she think Beck felt good and safe and loved when she asked them to do it, knowing that it was physically painful for Beck?
And things that I would also do for them. Like, they really liked when I would do this.
I hear.
So that was like my thing that I did for them. And it's like,
well, we saw in the live that in fact, Amberlynn would do it for max 2 minutes, would complain the entire time. And Beck would barely ask. Like, it was every once in a while to help them sleep. So the fact that Amberlynn is equating doing this thing for 2 minutes so that your partner can have help falling asleep, is equating it to picking lint off of someone's back for 45 minutes and putting a timer on and stopping every time they want to stop, like they want to take a break, making them play choosy for days on end. Yeah, those two things, Amber, they're not equal. You fucking crazy bitch.
I'm realizing that it wasn't that at all. It was, I almost feel like I was a burden to them. And
oh my God, Amber, y'all, she got it. It was almost like I was, was it a burden? It's almost like I made them do whatever I wanted and they had no say in their life and I controlled their every movement and I made them wipe me and take care of me and sleep next to my stanky ass. It's like I was a burden, y'all. Can you believe that? My mind's so funny. Ugh, I always think the worst about myself. No way I was a burden. Amber, you're crazy. You're actually so crazy. Oh my God.
Moments that I thought we were actually genuinely bonding.
Bonding where, babe?
Like
bonding where? I'm sorry, if my partner tells me to play some dumb-ass game, like Choosy, for hours, I'm leaving their ass. That's not bonding. That's fucking psycho shit, bro. If my partner asks me to pick lint off of them, that's some fucking psycho shit. And if I'm gonna do that, you better be reciprocating. Not the picking lint, but you better be doing something else for me. Girl, please.
That's the part that's like hard for me to like wrap my head around, I think.
So someone is asking her to take accountability.
Dang, Frank, I can't with you. Who else thinks Dalton has a mom Amber's size? Y'all, do you think he has mommy issues? Oh my God. Yeah, I can't. And Beck playing choosy meant avoiding Pookie's wrath by doing what she wanted, placating her ego, emotional regulation. Yeah, like, ergo emotional regulation, sorry. That took me a second to get. Yeah, exactly, Clebe. Like, it's It was literally placating a toddler because Beck knew if they didn't do what she wanted, there would be hell to pay. It would be a whole thing. And Beck told us this with Amberlynn in one of the live streams after they broke up, that they literally, Amberlynn would keep Beck up and they would fight for hours. Amberlynn would not let Beck have any alone time if they had an argument. It had to be resolved, and it didn't matter if it was going to take hours, if it was in the middle of the night. It had to be resolved in Amberlynn's terms. So yeah, if I knew that like my partner was going to sit there and berate me for the next 5+ hours until I agreed and said yes ma'am to them, I'd rather do the fucking choosy. It seems easier. At least we can put the TV on. You know, like, it's just, Amber really is like such a fucking psycho bitch.
Making Beck play choosy and for the plucking, and she turns it around and makes herself the victim. She says she wanted to feel good and safe and loved, but Beck is making her feel like a burden. Oh, poor Amber. We're really taking accountability here, though, guys.
A lot of accountability.
Do you owe Beck $6,000? No.
Yeah, so this part is crazy. This part is so crazy.
We can talk about the inheritance. In my members only, I talked about how Beck is saying that I took the inheritance. Me and Beck had a joint account. Okay, so this is where a screenshot comes in, so I'm glad we're talking about this. Let me get to it.
Okay, so just keep in mind.
Not the heavy sighing, like this is going to be so hard, you guys. Like, she's really letting it all out now, you guys. This is so difficult. Meanwhile, we still have yet to take accountability.
This whole part we're about to watch with the screenshots and everything that Amber's going to show us, this is supposed to refute the claim that Amber kept Beck's $6,000 inheritance.
Okay, so me and Beck had a joint account, and it was originally her bank account. Their bank account. I'm sorry. I'm getting really, really flustered. My apologies.
Yeah, I don't know how that works on the iPad, though, the unblock. But I really need to figure that out. Sorry. Choosy should only be played in an opium den. Facts.
Apologies. So it was originally their bank account. And when we got together, I ended up going on their bank account together. So we were joint bank accounts. So any money that either of us both received went into one full-fledged, one area.
Okay, so I just want to give my thoughts really quickly, say things that I know all of you grown-ass adults who live in the real world know. But Amberlynn, my first thought is, I think the reason that Amberlynn had to go onto Beck's account is because in order to open a bank account, you have to have a certain credit score. If you have a shit credit score, they will not let you open a bank account. They won't do it. When I was younger, I had to go onto a bank account with my mom. I still, to this day, although it's not my main one, my mom and I have a joint account. So if I want to go in there and remove all the money, I could go do that right now. If my mom wanted to go do that, she could do that right now. What it means to have a joint account is that you two both have access to the account. Both your names are on the account. So if Amberlynn Reed went in with her ID one day and said, hey, here's my debit card, here's my ID, I want to access this account, they'll put in the information and they'll access the account. And you could do whatever the fuck you wanted. If you wanted to clear it out, you could clear it out that day. The way that Amberlynn's going to try to spin it is that she didn't have access to any of this. That it was Beck's account. No, y'all are joint, which means you both get a username and a password. You both have access to the account. You both could go look at it if you wanted to. When Beck looks on her app on their app and looks at the account, it'll say Beck or Rebecca at this time. If Amberlynn went and looked on her app with her login stuff, it'll say hello Amberlynn. Amberlynn thinks that we all aren't adults that live in the real world, and we all don't have bank accounts. We don't know how the world works. Amberlynn Reid is really banking because she, again, lives in such a delusional mindset that she thinks all of us are just as dumb as she is, that we don't know how the banking system works in the USA. Girl, you look fucking dumb. This whole thing really made me so annoyed because she's going to go on for so long thinking that she got us and is showing us some proof that it was in fact Beck, that had all the control over the money and not Amberlynn. Like, it's actually so insane. She's trying to reverse the roles. So yeah, also again, I do think, and she did this with Destiny too, she joined on Destiny's account because one, I don't think Amberlynn, even to this day, I don't think Amberlynn has an updated identity card. I don't think she does. She didn't have one in Virginia. She never got one when she was with Destiny. I don't think she got one when she was with Beck. In fact, every time she wanted to purchase alcohol, she had to go and sit in the car and wait for other people to purchase alcohol. She would never go in because she does not have an ID. She even said in one of the videos with Beck that she does not have a valid ID. So, of course, you couldn't open a bank account without a valid ID. So I think your credit score is trash. And I think you don't have an ID, so you couldn't open one. Like, you had to join in onto someone. Although, I think you have to have an ID to join in on someone. So I don't know how she joined in on Destiny because she stated herself she did not have a valid ID. Either way, it's so fucking stupid. She really thinks she's pulling one over on us. And it's so stupid.
In a recent, I don't know if it was video, live stream, I forget what it was, Beck said how they didn't even have the means to look at the bank to see how much money was in there, that they had to use my debit card.
That's not true. Beck never said that. Beck never said that they didn't have access to the account. Beck never said that they couldn't see what was in it. What Beck said is that they were not allowed to spend it without your permission. In fact, you literally would require them to give you receipts after they went and got whatever that they had to go get at Walmart so that you could make sure that they didn't buy anything for themselves. You're now making up things that Beck said. We can go back to Beck's video and watch it. They never said that. You're saying that because it's following the narrative that you think you're about to debunk.
That I had my own private thing. Those are not true statements. I have a screenshot. I was not able to get into the bank ever.
Okay, so this is turned from did you keep Beck's inheritance to did you have access to the joint bank account? Right,
exactly. It turned into do you owe Beck $6,000 exactly to no, but in fact I actually didn't have any access to the account. That's bullshit, Amber. That's literally bullshit. And the reason why they had to use your debit card is because they probably were given a debit card. But you literally even said this. You gave them your debit card when you wanted them to go get stuff. If it's a joint account, why can't they use their own debit card? Because you didn't allow them to have that. That's why, Amber. You literally said that they kept your debit card for months, after you broke up with them. And then Feline didn't like that. So you had to get it back. Okay, well, why wouldn't they use their own debit card? Why would they have yours, Amberlynn? If they could go and spend money however they wanted, why would they have your debit card? Why wouldn't they just use the debit card that they had? Because you're a whole lie, Amber.
Which I guess she's saying she didn't ever have access to it.
I have so many screenshots of wondering, how much did I get paid? I would text Becky and literally ask that. I'd be like, how much did I get paid? Etc., etc.
And here's where I show my receipts. Yeah. If you're not a YouTube creator, you may not know this, but YouTube...
Yes. Y'all, also, you can see, I'll show you guys really quickly. You can see how much, right there. It says, my estimated revenue is $163.82. You can go here. $37 I made this month. I made $194 last month. Amberlynn's claiming, I had no idea how much money I was making, you guys. In fact, it was so crazy that I had to ask Beck to show me how much money I was making. Amber, you just had to open your studio, your YouTube studio, and it literally says it right there. There's a little button with a $sign. Shows it right there. So you were too lazy. So when Beck had to send you screenshots and you had to ask them, how much money did I make this month? Is because you were acting like they were your secretary. Like they were your accountant. Because you were too lazy to go look yourself. Like, this is not doing what you think it's doing. It's showing that you're a lazy piece of shit that made Beck do everything for you. Even down to the fact of looking at how much money you made per month. Which was as easy as downloading the studio app and that's it. Logging in. Right there.
Has a thing called analytics, and in the YouTube studio it breaks down how much you made per month, per week, per year, whatever you want to look at. You can even look at per day, and it'll even tell you how much each individual video or live stream made. So she wouldn't have needed Beck to tell her how much she got paid. Yep. She could see all that for herself.
Oh, and am I not allowed to show revenue? Oops. Not that, like, I don't care, obviously, like, but is that not allowed by YouTube? Oh, y'all, I hope I don't get flagged for that. Oops.
Beck would literally send me screenshots of our bank. So I have everything crossed off that's, like, personal information, but this is just...
Wait, Jennifer, what did it say? How did I set it off? That's so funny.
Proof that was a lie from Beck. An absolute lie.
Now,
I agree also, Glebe. Like, now she asked because she wanted her to remind Beck that Beck had nothing. I do think that there was a part of that. I think it was a way of showing, like, oh, how much did I make this month? Oh, and how much did you make? Oh, nothing. I definitely think that was a part of it. But I also do think Amberlynn is so lazy that she probably would be like, hey, can you just, like, tell me how much I made? Because she didn't want to go in. Like, she didn't want to be bothered. She probably didn't download like, the YouTube studio or something. Like, I don't know. So, I think it's a little bit of both.
Prime example of Amberlynn twisting things and hoping that you won't notice.
Dang, Frank, I freaking love your comments. I've said it before, but it's crazy. She was the sperm that made it to the egg. It's crazy. It really is crazy, y'all. It really is crazy. You know, the human species is... Life will find a way, even when it's Amberlynn Reed. Life apparently can always find a way.
You missed Beck's live stream from a few days ago where they stated that they didn't have access to the bank account. You might just believe Amber and assume that Beck was lying. But if you watch their stream, they were not talking about the main joint account. They were talking about a separate private account that they didn't have access to.
So about the bank account. It was my bank account first.
Oh, okay, this is a different one.
That I opened by myself in 2015. Mm-hmm. She was too lazy to go get a bank account of her own. So she opened a private account within my account. And only she had
Yeah, you can do that also. You can add another account in an already existing account and like make it for someone else, essentially. Like she could just have like all of the credentials to it. It's just so crazy. Like, Amberlynn really thinks that we don't know how the banking system works. Like, we're all not grown-ass adults who have careers or jobs or just a bank account in general, and we don't know how it works. Like, she really thinks that. She thinks, like she really got us. She's the only one with with a bank account, y'all. Just like she's the only one that got COVID. She's the first person to ever get COVID. She's the first person to ever be sick. She's the only person to ever have BPD. Okay? Y'all wouldn't understand. Y'all don't know what bank accounts are like Amberlynn Reed does.
Access to that private account. Only she knew how much money was in that private account.
Hello?
And the only time I had access to that particular debit card was whenever she would give it to me and tell me what she needed me to go get for her.
So Amberlynn either misheard what Beck said in that stream or she was lying, and that screenshot is not a receipt for anything.
I will also say a lot of Amberlynn's debunking of Beck is her willfully misunderstanding what Beck said as a way to, like, she hears what she wants to hear because she's like, oh, I know a way that I can lie about that. I know a way that I can, sorry, 1 second, y'all. Dimitri requires to be pet right before he eats, so uno momento. Okay, he's off to the races. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, she willfully like misunderstands or misconstrues what Beck says as a way to be able to, like, because then she comes up with a way of like, oh well, I can just say this and I have proof for this thing, even though like no one was saying that. Beck didn't say that. That's not what Beck, meant. That's not what Beck said, blah, blah, blah. She's really dumb, y'all. She's really dumb.
I said how much money is in the bank. And here's a screenshot that says, hi, Rebecca, like, et cetera, showing how much money we had in the bank because I was not able to get into it.
Amber, so go in and get your own login information. And it'll say, hey, Amberlynn. Hello, Amberlynn Reed. How are you today? Here's your account shit. If you're a joint account user, you have just as much access to the account, you dumb bitch. That's how joint accounts work, Amberlynn. But you don't even understand that. So you can't even come up with a legitimate lie. You can't even come up with something that would make sense because you don't understand what a joint account means.
I was never able to see how much went in there, how much I got paid, unless I looked on my AdSense, which is part of YouTube, and that's how you get paid. I was never able to see any of that. And we had our own separate debit cards that were in the joint account together.
Hey, if you both have separate debit cards for the joint account and it says your name on that card, that means you have access to the account, you dumb bitch. I mean, please be real.
Any money that Beck received would go into the same spot that my money went to. Because again, it was joint. I didn't have private anything.
Piele sensibilă?
Sorry, y'all.
No, Nivea Repair and Care cu glicerino și pantenol. Repară.
Whoopsies. Amber just revealed she did hear Beck say that it was a private account, but she doesn't want her audience to know that. Let's watch that part again and watch her face when she realizes that she slipped up.
Ooh. I didn't have private anything. Again, this is probably one of the biggest lies has left my jaw on the floor.
Amber, it's not though. And you really didn't prove shit. You didn't say shit and your lie is trash. Congratulations, Amber. This is another one, like someone just said, it's another lie to add onto the list. It's another lie Mr. Snowflake can add on to his next video about what is Amberlynn lied about. Come on, girl.
So, here we have it, where I say
this doesn't prove
how much
anything.
money is in the bank. So, here it says, hi, Rebecca, because this is their account, literally.
Yeah, because it's on their login. Again, I know I keep saying it, but it just pisses me off. It's on their login, so it's going to say their name. When my mom opens up our joint account, it says her name. And when I open up that same account with my login information, it says my name. That's how that works, Amber. You dumb cow. Sorry. What does that mean?
Account right here, which we shared, but I could not get into it.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is not a receipt. Asking your partner how much money is in the account does not specifically mean that you don't have access to that account. For all we know...
Yeah, she doesn't know what it means to have means to have evidence, Metal Mama Sue. I love that name, Metal Mama Sue. Because she's dumb. She really doesn't understand it, and she's trying to create evidence out of lies. Like, evidence is very easy to put together when it's the truth. But she's lying and she's stupid. So she ain't no Lawyer Lynn out here, okay? That's true. Cows are smarter. That was mean to them. And have more teeth, even though they can only use their molars. Well, Amberlynn can only use her front teeth, so...
could have just been her being lazy, not wanting to log into the account.
Bro, Veronica, Amber is definitely a person that would represent themselves in court and think they could win, and just the judge be like, yeah, no.
Do all that. Maybe she was laying around playing a game and felt like it was easier to just ask Beck how much is in there than looking it up herself.
Exactly.
We don't know. And it also doesn't prove that Amber didn't have a separate private account. Again, she wants us to just take her word for it. No actual receipts. And I also want to remind you, this is not what the original question was. She was asked about the inheritance money. So then Amber goes back to her notes and she brings her mom into this home.
She thinks, again, this is such a narcissistic tactic that I myself have experienced dealing with a narcissist. But also something that we see a lot with Amberlynn is skirting the actual question. Is kind of going around it, answering it close enough, like answering something that goes within the same realm, but doesn't actually answer their question, because then you find yourself talking about something else, and you're like, wait, the thing that we actually care about was never really addressed, you know?
Yes.
And I also put in my notes with that is like, my mom stayed with us for like 2 months when I had cancer, and my mom saw our dynamic, and Beck, because I've talked to my mom about this, obviously, because my mom's like,
I think that your mom needs to actually watch the videos, because Amberlynn, we know you're not giving the legitimate context of the situation that's going on. In my opinion, her mom is her new victim. I agree too. Yes, her mom is a grown-ass woman, but Amberlynn is taking advantage of her mom. And the fact that Amberlynn knows that her mom is trying to reconcile and make up for lost time. And Amberlynn is using the shit out of that. 100%. Like, I do not foresee their relationship going to the end. I foresee eventually Mamalyn having to take a step back from Amberlynn and us just one day not really hearing about her.
Shocked as I am. My mom saw Beck had their own debit card, literally their own debit card. Like, I don't understand, like, this crazy, weird lie.
Again, Beck never said that they didn't have their own debit card. They said they didn't have a debit card for the private account. Now, I actually have a receipt that gives credence to Beck's claim that there was a private account and that Amber would give them her debit card for that account to go in.
I called her mom an enabler during this part and got timed out. Oh, in Amberlynn's live? I mean, look, her mom is an enabler, but I think I do think that, like, again, sometimes we do shitty behavior in certain circumstances. It's not an excuse, but, like, I think Mamalyn, one, kind of already knows her daughter and knows that if she says no, I'm sure that there's probably been fights already. We see how snarky Amberlynn is with her mom on a good day, so I can't imagine what she would say to her mom when she's pissed off. But also, I think, again, she's trying to make up for lost time. And I think on some level, her mom knows that, like, Amberlynn's not going to have a lot of time left. And so, like, she just kind of wants to do what makes Amberlynn happy.
Buy stuff for her. And this receipt is straight out of Amber's mouth. This is a screenshot that Beck took. Let's read it together.
Yes.
Amber says,
this is what I was saying. Okay, I'll let her continue. But this is what I was saying is, like, Amberlynn is forming two different narratives. And girl, the evidence that you're lying is yourself. It's your shit that you post online. And it's constantly comes back to disproving your future self every single fucking time. And then you want to make it seem like it's us that's making shit up, girl. We use your words against you and you don't like it.
She even had my debit card for months while I was with Feline. Feline didn't like it, so I had to ask for it back. Now, if Amber is saying that Beck had their own debit card, why would they have had hers? Exactly. Why would they be using hers? Amber is clearly, you can see, calling it her debit card. Now, maybe there's a different explanation for this, but if what Beck is saying is true, this screenshot does appear to back that up.
Like, we can say that, like, I was abusive and controlling because I was very controlling of their time. And I'm very, very so sorry.
This is the only thing that she says she's sorry about that I got into. And the fact that we're already halfway through means that she doesn't really say much else.
For that. But never once have I ever been financially abusive.
Okay.
We have...
Amber, first off, that's such a lie. I'm going to put this up a little bit because I'm taking a long time and I'm pausing a lot. But that is such a lie. You absolutely know you were financially abusive. 100%, you've got to know that. Was Beck allowed to just go out and spend whatever they wanted? Were they allowed to just take as much money as they wanted? Were they allowed to do whatever they wanted with the money? No, it was under your control. We saw even with Destiny that you would control what Destiny would buy, and that was more her money. We saw you controlling what Crystal would buy, and that was none of your money. I can only imagine what you were like with the money that you were actually making.
Been equally so bad with money. That's why I have nothing to literally show for anything, because we would spend so much money, the both of us, constant.
Happy goodness.
Again, we're equating everything that Beck and Amberlynn did. But this was something else that pissed me off. Their relationship has been over for 4 years. So why is she blaming Beck for not having anything to show for after all her years?
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to claim that you two haven't been in a relationship for 4 or 5 years, but now suddenly you're blaming, along with yourself, about how bad you both were with money, and that's why you have nothing to show for it. Babe, what happened to the past 4 years of revenue? You're still making okay amount of money. Like, you're still making a pretty good amount of money, especially for the amount of work you put in. You're making enough money. So if you don't have anything to show for yourself, it's because of you. And also, let's be real, it wasn't Beck sitting there buying hundreds and thousands of journals. It wasn't thousands, but like hundreds of journals. It wasn't Beck sitting there spending a shit ton of money on takeout. It wasn't Beck sitting there buying hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Torrid all the time. It wasn't Beck sitting there spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on jewelry that you never wear, on Amazon bullshit that you never use. It wasn't Beck doing that. That was you, Amberlynn. What we saw Beck buy was, on occasion, a hat, t-shirts, a sweatshirt, and in fact, we literally have video evidence of Beck multiple times asking, "Can I buy this?" To me, that doesn't scream someone that just has free access to the money. That screams that you are in control, and if they want to buy something, then they have to ask you to do that. So be real, Amber, because again, we saw the video proof of it.
YouTube, that's just ridiculous.
Like, they were allowed to buy what they want when they wanted. Like, I literally bought them a car. Like, I bought them a car.
You bought them a car because you couldn't fit into the car that Beck had. I remember you literally shat on Beck's car. You said it was a piece of junk. It was on its last leg. And you needed a car that you could put your big ass into and be driven around to Walmart and McDonald's and TJ Maxx and all that bullshit and Walmart every fucking night. That's what you needed the car for. You needed the car because you needed Beck to drive you around and go get your fast food at night and your binge food at Walmart at night. You didn't buy them a car. And in fact, on the live stream, after you broke up, you made it known and you said, "That's my car. I paid for it and I didn't get to name it." You didn't buy them a car, okay? You bought yourself a car and Beck drove it. And the only reason Beck took it is because you couldn't do anything with it. It didn't serve a purpose for you anymore.
I'm that type of person where you guys have even seen it. You guys have seen it. You guys have called me out on my shit. I buy love. And I have gotten so much.
That's what I meant. The Torrid hauls were thousands of dollars. Like thousands. Honestly, overall in that time frame, she spent thousands of dollars on Torrid, on jewelry, on journals. We found out she spent thousands of dollars on crystal collection, on the croc little pendant things. I mean, the list goes on and on. It was Amberlynn spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on bullshit, on stickers, It wasn't Beck's stuff, it was Amberlynn's stuff.
Better with that, especially because like the last like 6 years of my life, 7 years of my life, 8 years actually, what am I saying? Like the last like 8 years of my life, like I have bought people with money. I have bought love, I have bought friendships, I have bought laughter, I have bought time with people because of money. And that's how it's always been. I have never been a greedy person when it comes to money.
Amberlynn, you were only greedy. You have been greedy with money even before you were making money. You were greedy with money when it came to Crystal and taking their money and spending it on whatever you wanted, on jewelry and crap, the same shit that you still buy today, the same exact shit, except it was someone else's money. You did the same shit to Destiny, would literally criticize Destiny for wanting to get a t-shirt, but you sat there getting fucking 50 journals one time at one go and never used them. Never used them. You literally, the only time when you started making money during the end of Destiny era and the beginning of the rest of Beck era, you used money to control people. You acted like it was a favor, and Destiny even said you would sit there and hold it over their head. You would use it as a way to control people, as a way to control their behavior with you. That's what you used it for. You're nothing but greedy. And on top of it, you're also manipulative with it. You use it as a tool of abuse.
It's like I got a kick out of giving people money and like going on shopping sprees and like doing all these sorts of things. So it's like, what? I don't know.
Pappy's heart, yeah, girl had bad genetics, bad childhood, doomed her to this life. I agree. I think it's a combination of a bad childhood, but on top of it, just bad genetics in so many different ways, and it's really unfortunate for her because I really don't think she stood a chance.
Oh, oops, another slip from Amber. She starts off by saying she let Beck have access to whatever they wanted to buy, right? But then she starts talking about how she was buying them everything because it made her feel good. So which is it, Amber? Did you both?
Cleve, you don't have to apologize. We're all annoyed right now. Like, this is just such a dumb lie. All of it is dumb.
Equally love to spend money and shop, or were you buying this stuff for them because you got a kick out of it?
When I got with Beck, they had a car.
Yeah, and again, Amberlynn's gonna skirt the context of it, of Amberlynn saying, yeah, it was really trash and like we need to get a car. So like we decided to do that. It was Amberlynn. And she even said it in the vlogs. It was her choice. Beck was like, okay, whatever. They didn't really care. It was Amberlynn. Yeah, it was like on its last leg. Like it just wasn't good. So like we had to get a new one. But now it's, well, I got them a car. Beck had a car, but Beck wanted a new car, so I said, okay.
But they wanted something better, and I said, you know what? Let's do
That's not how that happened.
Let's talk about that car.
Yes, okay. Ugh, I love salty
Shall
car.
we? Amber makes it sound like it was all Beck's idea to get a new car. They wanted something better, she said. And, she's like, let's just do it, I guess. Right? The way she's describing the situation, it makes it sound like she was kind of reluctant, but finally gave in. Okay, let's do it. And remember, she also used that as an example of how she buys people love. So she is talking about it like she didn't really want to do it. But Beck wanted it, she gave in, and she just wanted to buy Beck's love, right? Well, let's see what she had to say about buying that car back when it happened.
And I'm super excited to announce Becky and I actually got a car together. Yeah. We got it about a week ago, and I love it. We both love it. It's just the car she had prior was really bad. You got in the car and just expected it to break down. It was super old. It almost had 300,000 miles on it. So if you know cars, you know that's bad. Everything was wrong with it, between the windshield wipers, the tires, everything.
It's like I say, and I know I repeat it all the time, but it's just crazy because Amberlynn literally tells on herself. And she's too dumb to remember the lies she's told. Or even the truth she's told. She makes up other lies because she's too dumb to remember what's happened, what she's already said. It's so funny.
We have a new car, yay!
Oh, and about the car thing, like I saw a lot of comments and people were like, why would you go buy a car when you should be taking care of responsibilities? Honey, this was a responsibility. I did not want to drop no money on the car, like, at all. Neither of us did. Becky's car was about to eat the dust. And then without that, I wouldn't have a car to go to a doctor. I wouldn't have a car to, be responsible.
You guys, I wouldn't have a car to go and get my binge food at night, to go get Doritos and hot Cheetos and cookies and candy bars. and frappe and my Burger King and McDonald's. I wouldn't have a car to do that, you guys. These are very important things, okay? So mind yourself.
You know, so it was literally about to heal out. So I feel like for me, it was a very responsible thing to do. It's not like we bought some hot commodity car. It's a
clever nickname. I mean, she isn't too dumb to remember. She just tells too many different lies to remember. I think it's a bit of both, if I'm being honest. I think she does tell so many different narratives of a story that she doesn't remember them all. But I also think she genuinely is too dumb to remember some of the lies. Like, I really think it's a combination of both things.
Great car. I love it. I think it's super cute. Works very well. Love it. I love it. Like, I do. But it's not like we went and just got a car for whatever reason, because that's just not what happened.
So at the time that it was bought, Amber said it was a priority. She felt like it was the responsible thing to do. And it wasn't just bought for whatever reason, right? But now she's claiming Beck just wanted something better. And she said, let's do it. Also, don't forget, Beck's old car didn't have air conditioning. So if she's going to be out here saying that that car was bought for Beck as a way to love bomb them, nah, girl, you wanted a nicer car.
Yeah, also, this is Beck we're talking about, okay? Like, this person is not out here getting luxury things. They're like, they're just like getting the things that they need and a few things that they like. You know, they're a simple person when it comes to consumerism. So I don't really think she is sitting there. Sorry, Beck was sitting there and saying, get me a new car. I want a new car. I think if Beck could have gotten away with having the car that they had for years to come, they would have done that. And it was really only up to Amberlynn. And the fact that Amberlynn knew that if she sat her ass in that car for every single day, multiple times a day, that car was going to die on her. That's, like, let's be real. She is very uneducated, I can't deny that, but it is how she constantly changes the narrative, kills me. Yeah, clever nickname, I agree. Like, she can't keep track of her own lies. She just constantly changes the narrative to, like, to fit whatever the circumstances is at that moment. And it changes every time.
Conditioning.
So Beck says that they never met Feline or Libby, but that's not true. There's video.
That's not true. What Beck said is that they didn't really know Jade. Beck has said multiple times that they met Jade. In fact, in one of the most recent videos that they did of like talking about their experience with Amberlynn, they said Jade was very nice to me to my face, but I found out later that they were talking shit to me about me behind my back. So once again, Amberlynn is purposefully and willfully misunderstanding Beck's statement as a way for her to say, once again, look, Beck's a liar. No, Amber, you're just dumb, or you're willfully misunderstanding.
Proof of both of those things.
Okay, now on this part, I have not heard Beck make that claim, either one of those claims. However, if they did, then Amberlynn is right about Beck meeting Jade. There is video proof of that.
Where's
No, they literally, what Beck said, because at one point, someone asked something about Jade, and Beck said, I didn't really know them. Like, I met them, they were nice to my face. Oftentimes they would be on their computer working, but I didn't really know them. And Amberlynn is taking that as, oh, you're saying you didn't know her? You met her. You're lying. No. What they mean is that they didn't know them as a person. They saw them, they met them, but they didn't really know them as a person.
Beck and her getting along. Wifey's here. I guess you can answer that.
Yes, we get along. We love to joke and banter, and it's just always a, vibey mood.
But as far as Libby goes, I think Amber is referring to the time that they were on You Now with Libby, and possibly Beck was saying that they never met.
Yeah, Beck has not mentioned, to my understanding, has not mentioned anything about Libby. The only time that I ever heard Libby in the context of Beck is in the latest Lukewarm Tea, and in the beginning they said to leave Libby out of it. Like, don't bring Libby into this. Don't bring Crystal into this. And that was the extent of it.
Libby in person. I don't know. Again, I did not hear Beck make that claim. I don't know the context around it.
My husband is leaving for work. Gotta kiss him bye and shit. We're still gonna be going in like 20 minutes. Yeah. because I keep pausing. So we should still be here. But if not, have a great night. Dimitri will also say good night. Good night. I hope your husband has a great day at work. That's cute or whatever, that you had to kiss him and shit.
The part about Beck meeting Feline in person, that did happen.
Beck says that they wiped me. Okay, so story time on that. Beck started wiping me after my hysterectomy, and it continued on after that.
Hi, Jennifer.
This part is embarrassing, and this part I'm going to be accountable. Here we go. Accountable Lynn coming in at you. So, my hysterectomy. Okay, so wiping. Okay, I'm so embarrassed.
Okay, sorry. I'll let her speak in a second. I just want you to remember that initially Amberlynn said that Beck did not wipe her. Then she changed the narrative to say, Beck only wiped me for a few weeks after the hysterectomy because I had a hysterectomy. I couldn't wipe myself. Then she said Beck actually wiped me for like 2 months or something. So let's now watch this, right? It continues to get longer and longer.
Wiping for me has always been extremely hard as a bigger girl, obviously. If you're bigger, my size, it's hard. When I was about to get my hysterectomy, that was a big thing for me that I was like, how am I going to be able to wipe myself? Because it's hard already. I'm not going to.
Sick toast. I don't know. I just keep seeing more and more Trump and Hams, all the blatant lies, the way they both seem to just ignore facts or reason. Both seem very similarly frustrating. Yeah, I think they're both narcissists. They're also both not very intelligent. Trump is not an intelligent human being. I know everyone loves to say, oh, he's a businessman. No, the motherfucker's a Nepo baby. He was given a lot of money, and he's actually one of the worst businessmen. Like, it's like quantifiably, like he is a failed businessman. And Amberlynn is also a narcissist who's not smart. So yeah, I'm not surprised we would see, the same characteristics. The only difference is that, Mr. Trump was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and Amberlynn was born to drug-addicted parents. That's really the only difference between the two of them.
Able to. So this is something that I was like, at the time, I was like, Becky, like, are you going to be able to do this for me? Like, I'm really embarrassed about it. And they were like, of course. Like, I love you, blah, blah, blah. So when I was healing, I physically could not do it. Like, physically could not do it. And so Beck did it for me. And so did my mom. Me not being able to wipe for, it was like, honestly, a few weeks. And already something that was already so hard for me, I kind of lost the ability to do it.
I'd like to let us all take a moment, put our listening ears on, and really remember the fact, really process the fact that she's saying before the hysterectomy, but she's about the same weight as she was before the hysterectomy, maybe 20 pounds later, 20, 30 pounds later, which on Amberlynn Reed's body is nothing. It's negligible, okay? So I think that was the right way. So it's already hard for Amberlynn to wipe herself, which wasn't a clue for Amberlynn to lose weight. Cancer wasn't a clue for her to lose weight. Having a difficult time wiping herself wasn't a clue to lose weight. She then lost the ability and had to have someone fully wipe her. And now we're sitting here today. Maybe she wipes herself, maybe she doesn't. She must wipe herself because I don't think her mom's coming over every time. And I guarantee you she has trouble wiping herself. So just on top of that, just being crazy, we're also supposed to believe that she smells good, but she has trouble wiping herself. But she smells good, y'all. The perfume is not at all a way for her to cover up the smell of her not being able to properly wipe away the literal waste coming out of her body. Okay. Whatever you say, Amber.
I was literally shook. Because I remember when I was noticing like my healing was getting better, like everything was going great. Like I was able to do all sorts of things again and all this stuff. And like the healing was just going perfect. And I was like, holy fuck, wait a minute. I like have lost the ability to like do this.
Amber.
Why did you stop being a vigilante?
The line was crossed. I was raised to believe in great.
I'm just curious here.
That is crazy that it isn't a red fucking flag to you that you are so morbidly obese that you, again, already had trouble wiping yourself. and then lost the ability to wipe yourself. And that wasn't a fucking clue to maybe stop eating for a little bit. To maybe just, eat some vegetables for a few months, to not order out, to only drink water. That wasn't enough, you guys. Because at this time, she was ordering takeout all the time, multiple times a day. Her not being able to wipe herself wasn't enough of a wake-up call. That is so bizarre to me.
If she says that she was healing perfectly, how did she lose the ability to wipe herself? Was it like a physical pain? If she tried, could she just literally not reach? And if it was a physical pain, why did she not seek?
Oh, so first off, it's difficult for her to wipe herself because one, her arms are stubby as hell and she's got a very big stomach and she's got a very big butt. So to be having to reach over those things and to get into the crevices that we all know have to be wiped is difficult for her, I'm sure. Then on top of it, when you have a hysterectomy, your abdominal muscles are weak as hell. Now, I know most of you are saying people that have had surgeries, first of all, I'm glad you guys are okay. I'm glad it went smoothly. But people who have had hysterectomies or C-sections or abdominal surgery, know that after that surgery, your abdominal muscles are weak as hell. Now, even though you might not realize it, you're using your abdominal muscles just to sit. So just to sit on the toilet is going to be painful and a bit more difficult for someone, right? Having to bend over, you're also using your abdominal muscles. So things that you don't realize you're using, you start noticing when it's affected that, oh shit, suddenly this is a little bit more difficult. So for Amberlynn, when already physically it was hard to reach those places, she now on top of it has no abdominal strength, which to begin with, I don't think has great abdominal strength anyways. That's why she's constantly leaning back, because when you're leaning back, you don't have to sit up and support all the weight that's on you. That's why she's always leaning back on pillows. She's never using her abdominal muscles to sit straight up. So it makes sense that she lost it. What's crazy to me again is that wasn't a wake-up call for her to go to physical therapy, to lose weight, to build up muscle.
Help from her doctor. I mean, how does not wiping for a few weeks cause you not to be able to wipe at all?
And obviously after time I was able to figure that out again, thankfully. But
to be honest, Metal Mama Sue, she sure figured it out in a hurry when they broke up. I do 100, I know people say that they think it was a humiliation tactic for Beck, and I do think to an extent it was. However, I think that Amberlynn is lying about the fact that that Jade wiped her. That Jade assisted her in the shower. Okay, sure, maybe Jade wasn't straight up bathing her, but like Beck said, Beck had to stand outside the shower and make sure that they were, she was okay. And I think Feline probably had to do the same thing. And I think Feline was wiping her butt. I really do. And I don't think we're ever going to hear that story because Jade does not want to be online and Amberlynn would never admit that. And I think when she really had to figure it out is when she moved to Oklahoma and she really had no choice and she now has to do the best that she can. And I don't think it's very good.
I would say Beck wiped me for, I would say a good 9 months.
I'd be inventing a shit stick before I let someone wipe my ass. Cleverness. I agree, y'all. I do think that there are circumstances that are beyond some people's control where they do need that assistance. And I don't think that that is something that they should be ashamed of. However, that's where caretakers come into play. But if I sat there and ate myself to 500 plus pounds and to the point that I physically could not wipe myself and I had to have my partner, y'all, I simply could not do that. I simply could not allow that to happen.
And it's really embarrassing. And I know a lot of people are going to forever make this a meme, and that's okay. I also did very embarrassing things for Beck. That's what you do when you're in a 5-year relationship. That is what you are going to do.
Yet again, even when she's taking accountability for something, she still has to throw.
It's still, yeah, exactly what, I'll let Salty Crab finish, obviously. But, it's crazy. It's this thing that I lied about multiple times and that I said was less than true, now it's true, you guys. But again, that's what you do in a 5-year relationship. You wipe each other's ass. No, Amber, no. That's crazy. That's really crazy. It's not like you got into a car accident and you were paralyzed and now you're unable to take care of yourself hygienically. You did this to yourself, and you had every ability and still have every ability to make it so that that's not a problem for you. And instead, you chose to allow your partner to do that for you and took no steps in helping your situation, and still don't.
That dig in there on Beck. Well, yeah, they wiped me for 9 months, but I did embarrassing things for them too.
I'm truly
and honestly, what embarrassing things? Honestly, what, putting mole cream onto someone? Because I remember like one time she got Beck got like some mole like ointment or something. Like that ain't the same as wiping your nasty ass, Amber. Metal Mama Sue, Beck said she helped until they broke up, and then after. She still with Beck while they broke up, didn't she? I forgot stuff, but I think they lived together after. Yes, first off, they did live together. However, Beck at that point very quickly, because Amberlynn jumped into a relationship with Jade literally like a week later. Like it was actually insane. And Beck like was kind of over it. Like 2 weeks into it, they had their stuff there, but they stopped living there so much. They were staying with like family and friends at that point. And then they moved out like a few months later, like maybe a month or two later, because Amberlynn like moved in Jade. And Jade was there while Beck still had stuff there. And then they just moved out in one day. Like with the help of, I'm forgetting their names, Rafe and Hannah and Eric and Ricky and yeah. And yeah, like Beck said that they were helping Amberlynn shower, like not fully showering, but like would have to stand outside the shower and like help Amberlynn and wipe till the very end. And I absolutely believe that. I don't think one day Amber said, you know what, you don't have to do it anymore. No, like Amberlynn was gaining weight. Amberlynn was almost at her heaviest when they broke up. I think she was like 5 pounds off from her heaviest at that point, and we can see it. Amberlynn didn't start losing weight until Jade came around. And I think the reason that Amberlynn had to lose weight is I don't think Jade was going to be too willing to wipe Amberlynn's ass. I think that shit was like, I'll do this, but you better start fucking losing weight because I'm not doing this forever. I'm not doing it. And I think that's why Amberlynn started having to like actually lose weight and take care of herself. Because that was the biggest amount of weight that we saw Amberlynn lose in pretty much her entire YouTube career was when she was with Jade. And I think it's because of stuff like that. I think she was too embarrassed to have Jade help her. But I think in the beginning, absolutely, I think Jade was doing that.
About it because moral of the story is it's my fault because of my size. Because if it wasn't for my size, like that would have never have had to happen. And I'm sorry that I would ever put anyone in that sort of situation to have to do that.
But
I'm forever grateful that like they were there for me during like that fucking scary time. I'm not gonna lie.
You guys, just remember, I had cancer. I can't remember. Yes, they wiped my ass, but I had cancer. But you know, they did shit too.
But then this goes down to people asking like, did Feline do that? No, because like I said, Beck did it for the like because eventually I was able to do it again.
That's why she has to say that part of no, but I it was only 9 months and then I start doing it again, because it wouldn't make sense that suddenly Jade comes into the picture and she doesn't have to do it. I believe Beck had to wipe her ass and help her shower until the day she left in their $100 U-Haul. I absolutely believe it. Because again, Amberlynn was at her heaviest at that point. Well, very close to her heaviest. Like, negligible difference.
And I want to make it very, very clear that that is the only thing they helped me with. Like, back in 2019, they got me a bucket with some water twice to, like,
That's not true. You even admitted to the fact that that Beck would have to go get you a bucket and water. More than twice, Amber. You admitted that you did not shower during that time. You were bedbound, and the only thing that you would allow is Beck to go get you water and a rag, which I believe. I believe that she did make Beck wash her. However, I do believe that when you moved into the new house in Kentucky and you were able to go into the shower like normal because it was a handicap apartment, I also believe, just like now is a handicap accessible apartment, Beck still had to stand there just in case you fell. Because you could not stand for that long, Amber. You want to pretend like you're taking these long ass showers. You do this whole thing. I don't think you can stand for more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the shower. And now on top of it, it's wet. Hello.
Because that was during a hard time as well. But never ever once did I have them bathe me, shower me. That never happened.
You sure about that, Amber?
Thoughts on Becky saying she has wiped you in the past. She did. After my hysterectomy, Becky helped me a lot. A lot. After my hysterectomy, I couldn't walk by myself, shower. I couldn't really do anything. I had these shots that I had to...
I'd also like to mention that that's crazy, again, because it's not that she had a hysterectomy that caused her to do this. It's the fact that she's morbidly obese and had a hysterectomy. Pregnant women, post-pregnant women who have C-sections, which is essentially the same cutting, the same shit that's going on, except you're taking out all of the uterus and ovaries and stuff, that it's the same incision and stuff that you have to get up that day. Most patients have to get up and walk that day, if not maybe the next day or so, or else you can get a blood clot, Amber. You chose, because you are so unhealthy to begin with, that surgery made it even more difficult for you. It's actually a miracle that you didn't have a clot. It's a miracle that you didn't have an embolism from that, truly. Because you need to be up that day walking.
Take twice a day that she would help me with, and she did. She helped me with a lot of stuff.
Apa micelară Garnier, eficacitate dovedită, recomandată de Diana, potrivită pentru tine.
La Lidl ai ceafă de porc fără os la numai 2,19 lei per 100 de grame. Mozzarella.
So there she is, saying that she couldn't shower by herself, and Beck helped her with that. So why is she saying now that it never happened?
Okay, so another thing. Beck said how I always went through their phone.
Yeah, sick toast. Yeah, same day with Catherine and all. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it's not fun. It's by no means easy. I remember when I had hip surgery, I had to get up the same day as well and walk. And I was walking like a grandma, and that's okay. But the whole point of it is so that you don't get clots. Because you get a clot, that shit goes into your lungs, and you're dead. You're dead, dude. So, like, it's more important to be a bit uncomfortable and to make the patient be a bit more uncomfortable and to not risk an embolism. And in fact, when you have patients that refuse, you have to continue to encourage them and pretty much tell them that, like, you don't really have a choice. Like, obviously we can't force you to do anything, but, like, if they don't get up, like, then you have to start putting compression socks. You have to start doing PT in bed to make sure that the body is moving, or else, again, a clot will form.
And how I would never let them go through mine. Half of that is true. Half of that is not true.
Nicholas Burnett, thank you so much. Her live stream was a big nothing burger. All she did was bash Beck, which she says she wouldn't do. Yeah. The entire thing was bashing Beck. There was no receipts that really that explained anything. It was all, how can we shit on Beck? How can I make them delegitimize anything that they say? Let me show you how shit that they were. Sure, I did things, but they're shittier. They also did things. Sure, I abused the absolute crap and recorded all of it, but they did stuff too. It's just so stupid, y'all. It's really stupid. But thank you so much, Nicholas Burnett. That is so sweet. I really appreciate it. It will go towards the Getting Something for Dimitri fund.
I would go through Beck's phone. Yes. And I also did it to past partners as well. Not a good look.
Oh my gosh. Gianluca, yep, got a blood clot as a kid because I was stuck in a hospital bed for too long. Luckily, I don't remember it at all. I'm glad you're okay. That shit is scary. Like, it gets into the wrong part of your body, and you're out. Or if it's not caught, it's not caught fast enough. That's like really dangerous. I'm really shocked that Amberlynn didn't get one, to be honest. I'm really shocked. But I'm glad you're okay. Embolisms are at the moment. Oh yeah, you know.
Very not a good look. Hey, it doesn't matter why I did it, and I'm sorry. That's controlling. That's wrong. That's
most patients will get compression socks, yeah, but sometimes if like you get up and start walking, they won't make you wear compression socks. Like they put compression socks on during the surgery, but you don't always have to wear them after unless they know that like you're not going to be able to get up. Like if you're put on a ventilator or you're in a coma, like you're not responding, whatever, they'll obviously keep it. They'll also like put the like mechanical like compressioners on, like the like moves water through and like compresses the legs as well. But most of the time, if like it's like same day or the patient is like going to get up and walk that day, they'll just put on special socks that like signify the mobility level, essentially. Like certain socks will show that like this patient is allowed to get up by themselves, this patient needs assistance to be up by themselves, or up, stuff like that. Amanda, hello. Pitting edema is no joke. Yeah, y'all. I get those fancy socks, as a nurse called them in the UK. Not sure how it works elsewhere. Yeah.
It's wrong. Point blank, period. I should not have ever done that. Like, there's no reason.
Sorry,
like, there's no reason.
I'm gonna...
Very not a good look. Hey, it doesn't matter why I did it, and I'm sorry. That's controlling. Half of that is not true. I would go through Beck's phone. Okay. Yes, and I also did it to past partners as well. Not a good look. Very not a good look. Hey, it doesn't matter why I did it.
To sit there and go, not a good look, like it's like a joke. That's like something you say like about something small. You sat there and went through your adult partner's phones to control them, to make sure that they were doing what you wanted. It's more than not a good look, Amber. It's, let's say together, abusive.
And I'm sorry, that's controlling. That's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, Angela Atwood, I got these leg massaging things after my weight loss. Surprised I didn't have them. Even I had to have those. Like, I didn't have to have... Well, I had compression socks after. I still had to wear compression socks on my one leg that I had my hip surgery on. But I was, like, walking around on crutches and stuff. But even every day, I had, like, this mechanical thing for both of my legs. And it would compress them, and I had to use it for an hour. It was this huge, like, heavy thing, and I had to put my legs in it, and it would do that for almost a month. So I'm really surprised. Like, something tells me that Amberlynn wasn't doing the requirements after the surgery. I think Amberlynn got the hysterectomy and bounced, and like just kind of didn't really look back.
Point blank, period. I should not have ever done that. Like, there's no reason. But the part about Beck saying they were never allowed to go through my phone, they were never allowed to read my journals, is a lie. I have proof.
So I'd like to clarify this before Amberlynn once again goes on a whole tangent that does not, like, willfully is going against what Amberlynn or what Beck actually said. Beck said they were not allowed to go onto Amberlynn's phone because Amberlynn had a private journal on the phone. And Amberlynn said, that's private. I don't want you going through it, so you can't go through my phone. Now, what Amberlynn's about to do is show us a journal. Beck never said that they weren't allowed to read journals. And in fact, I absolutely fucking think that Amberlynn allowed Beck to read certain things in her journal. Because I think it was a way to manipulate the absolute shit out of Beck and say, see, look at this. I'm really hurting. Look how mentally sick I am. Look how defeated I feel. Look how depressed I am. Womp womp me. Read this journal so you can feel sympathy for me. But again, this is not what Beck said. You're making up a lie. you're willfully misunderstanding and misconstruing what Beck said so that you can prove something that has nothing to do with what they said.
Very old journal. So this journal is from June 18th.
Jennifer, I'm back. My husband said, thanks for the well wishes of it. Aw, that's so sweet. Yeah, Luchiros, I freaking hate this part. It's so annoying.
21 to December 9th, 2021. And I have showed this in multiple vlogs. On July 24th of 2021, I wrote this. I think I'm done reading this journal.
Actually, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm going to fast forward this part because it's really annoying. It's just, I think I'm going to stop reading this journal. It's weird that I'm reading it to Beck. They're going to be mad at me. So let's see what the Salty Crowd has to say.
This journal, over and over again.
I think I'm done reading this journal, this journal.
This journal. Not all my journals. Yeah. This journal. Now, she says that she started the journal on June 18th, 2021. Well, guess what happened just 11 days later? That's right, they broke up. And Amber says that she stopped letting them read that journal, this journal, on July 24th. What was going on just a few days before that date? She was talking to Wifey. So according to Amber's words and her timeline, she let Beck read that journal a week before they broke up, right up until she started talking with Jade. And then she stopped. She no longer would let them read it.
Interesting. That's a good call out. Also, again, I think it was obviously a manipulation tactic, you know, like also, and I think they did it before. Amberlynn did it before because I think at some level Amberlynn knew that like things were getting bad and like this wasn't going to last much longer. And so she was trying to guilt trip Beck into like feeling bad and like staying with her and like feeling sympathy for Amberlynn. And afterwards, it was a way to like rub into Beck's nose that, hey, look, I already found someone. I'm so in love already. Like, you're such a fucking loser. Look at me. I'm so wanted. And like, you know, maybe even try to like, no, I was going to say maybe even try to like win Beck back, but that wasn't it. It was just to like essentially rub it into Beck's face that she's desired and Beck's not.
Now, it could be that I'm just playing semantics with the whole this journal thing. And maybe when she wrote this journal, she really meant every journal. And maybe Beck is just flat out lying and they were given total access to Amberlynn's deepest, darkest secrets. Anything is possible. But as we've seen, this whole live stream and from years of watching Amberlynn...
Jennifer, exactly. That's what I said. What Beck said wasn't that they weren't allowed to read journals. What Beck said was that Amberlynn did not allow Beck to go onto Amberlynn's phone because they had a private journal on the phone. And Amberlynn said that they want to maintain their privacy. She wanted to maintain her privacy, so she wouldn't allow Beck to look at it. That's what it was about. This whole stupid bullshit about this journal doesn't prove anything, Amber, because that's not what Beck said. So again, you're either willfully misconstruing what Beck has said so that you can spin the narrative into a way that favors you or you think favors you, or you don't have comprehension skills and you don't understand what Beck is saying. Either way, that is not a good look for you.
And it's very hard to just take Amber at her word. I also believe it could be possible that when Beck says that they were not allowed to read Amber's journals, maybe it was more of an implied thing. Maybe Amber never came out and said, hey, you can't read these. But they knew that if they, one day went over to the stack, picked one up and started going through it, that Amberlynn was going to put a stop to that. Honestly, who knows the real truth?
Yeah, also, I don't think partners should be reading each other's journals unless, you're explicitly given permission. But even then, I think, there needs to be some, privacy and, freedom and, expressing yourself in a safe space that, the partner's not going to see it. Yeah, I think that's a healthy boundary to have with your partner, to not have either of you read each other's journals or whatever, or to really, in my opinion, I know not everyone will agree with this, I don't think it's that healthy to be looking through each other's phones either. Now, do I think it's fine if you're like, hey, can I use your phone, and whatever, and I would hope that you would have enough trust between each other that you know that the person's not going to snoop through your phone. I would also hope that, you're not sitting there hiding and, lying to your partner, that you would feel scared for that. But like, I don't ever think it should get to a point where you're going through each other's phones. That's weird. Like, you two are still autonomous human beings. You're allowed and privileged to have privacy. Your partner doesn't get to be a part of every single little thing that you do. That is unhealthy. That is not a relationship. That's codependence.
That was just me trying to prove to you guys that, like, Beck got to read my stuff. Beck got to read my full-fledged journal entries, even though they are telling everyone that they didn't.
That's not what they said.
Like,
you are
does that
lying.
make sense? Like, Beck is telling people that they had no control over the bank, but I'm the one who didn't. I'm the one who didn't.
You did, Amber. You were just lazy. You didn't set up an account, or you didn't set up a login clearly. Again, it was a joint account, so you had just as much access to as they did. It's because you couldn't get into a car and go to the bank. It's because you chose not to set up a login, username, and password. Or you did and you were just too lazy to go through it. You're fucking lie, bro, and you're bad at it.
So it's like, they're allowed to, like, lie about stuff because the tea is piping. The tea is hot.
That's crazy.
And listen, maybe Beck isn't telling the truth about this one very minor thing that was said offhandedly.
No, I did think Salty Crowd's just missing that what Beck had said. Sick as Toast also doesn't she rewrite her journals 3 times or something, rewrites it down somewhere, then puts it on the laptop and only then writes it in her choosing list journal. No wonder she ends up believing her own lies. Yeah, I from what I know, she writes it on her computer first because she says that she types faster than she can write, and then she then goes and writes it in a journal. So, like, one, I don't believe Amberlynn's take on most things. I think she might think she's telling the truth to herself, but I think that she views situations much differently than how they actually go down. But also, yeah, like, she rewrites it. That's so weird. Gotta go to work tomorrow. Gotta say, should sleep and shit. Yes, Gianluca, please, good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Jennifer, on a different note, is she such an extensive journal writer? How does she explain that she never remembers anything? Can't she just go back and read what happened? Well, Jennifer, she actually uses her journals sometimes as evidence, which is not evidence because, like someone else said earlier in the chat, you can write whatever you want. I could write that I walked on the moon yesterday and then 10 years later go, no, see, I walked on the moon. I put it in my journal. That doesn't mean shit. That's not going to be taken into court of law as evidence, my friend. Jordy said the same thing. She did the same thing with Destiny. Yeah. No one saying would want to read her Delusion and Drivel. Exactly. I don't think Beck was sitting there, like, just waiting, pounding at the bit to, like, read Amberlynn's journal. I think when Beck would read her journal, it's because Amberlynn was like, babe, read this passage. Look how sad I am. Look how depressed I am. This is why you shouldn't go hang out with your family. This is why you should feel bad for me. This is why you shouldn't yell at me or be mad at me or call me out on my bullshit. Okay.
In a live stream. But the original claim was that Amber insisted on going through Beck's phone, but they weren't allowed to go through Amber's. And now we're out here talking about journals and straight up calling Beck a liar when, don't forget, this was not supposed to be a Beck bashing session.
After we broke up, we had mutual friends, obviously. And I found out a lot of things that I did not know about, actually. That made sense. And it, like, added up for me, obviously. But behind my back, like, Beck admitted to using me for money. And that is the only reason why they were with me.
Okay,
Amber, Beck wasn't getting money from you. What do you mean? Like, it's not like you were a sugar daddy and you were out here giving them an allowance. You were paying for their bare minimum life that you forced them into. Like, be so real, Amber.
Huge claim. And I definitely will need to see some receipts on that one before I believe it.
And, this part, like, really hurt me. Beck literally called me a fat fucking bitch. And
Amber, you are a fat fucking bitch. What? That's just straight up facts, Amber. You were abusing the shit out of them. I'm surprised they didn't say more shit about you. I would say that's pretty PG for the shit you were putting them through, to be honest.
That genuinely shocked me. And obviously you guys probably know who the mutual friends are.
And it's honestly crazy because she wants us to be like, oh my God, Beck did that to you? Girl, you literally domestically abused them online for everyone to watch. Sometimes getting 1 million views on videos where you were domestically abusing Beck. And you want us to be like, oh my God, Beck called you a fat bitch. Oh my God. Well, you know what? Fuck her or fuck them. Everything else is okay, Amber. It's okay that you did all that to them because they called you a fat bitch. You are not on this planet.
Okay, so this is all hearsay. You were told that Beck said these things. First of all, still want to see receipts. But second of all, most, if not all, of Beck's claims were first-hand accounts. Yep. They told what they personally experienced, not what someone told them. And second of all, if Eric is the source of that claim, well, knowing what we know about Eric and seeing how he was during the whole Rafe situation, all I'm going to say is, yeah, I definitely will need to see receipts on that.
Beck would, like, during an argument, would say kind of harsh things, obviously, but never, like, vulgar.
And I wonder, Amber, what the hell you were saying to them. I really fucking wonder, Amber, because I don't think you were sitting there being patient and kind with them. To be honest. And it's really not that vulgar to say you're a fat bitch, especially when you were abusing them. That's, again, very low key. I would have said, like some of you are saying, I would have said a lot worse to you. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay, so you're admitting that what you were told about them, about what they said, it sounds very out of character for them, yet you just 100% believe what you were told, and now you're repeating it as fact?
So also, low-key, Eric, I wouldn't say Ricky so much, but Eric loved the drama. Eric is one of those people that goes and tells a friend one thing and then goes and tells that other friend another thing. And then these two friends hate each other because Eric is sitting here playing both sides. So I 100% believe Eric was out there stirring some shit up. You know, like, come on.
When I heard, like, using me for money, like, low-key, it felt like it made sense to me because
why?
I would tell them, like, get a job. Like,
shut
I
up.
could tell you're bored because once we moved from the home where we had roommates and we were living with friends, like, obviously it was different. Like, we always had something to do. But when it was just me and Beck, like, I was like, get a job. Like, are you joking?
And Amber, you literally said in the beginning of this live stream, you needed them around you all the time. You what's the word? I can't think of it. You took up their time. You controlled their time. You literally put timers on how long they could hang out with Eric and Ricky, how long they could go see their family, even after you two moved into the Kentucky apartment by yourself. And you want us to believe that you were out there encouraging Beck to go get an 8-to-5 job where you wouldn't know what they're doing, who they're talking to. Really, Amber? Really? You really think that? You really think we're going to believe that? Literally, Beck's out here scrounging for change in the pillowcases, and you wouldn't let them keep that because, God forbid, they had their own money. But you were going to be okay with them getting a whole ass paycheck from a 9-to-5. Amber, you can't even keep track of the storyline that you're putting into this live. Like, I know 2 hours and 50 minutes is long, but it ain't that long, Amber. I would hope you have some memory. Like, come on. This doesn't add up, Amber. This does not make sense. You did not want them to have money because if they had their own income, then at any point they could leave. And you didn't want that. You wanted a caretaker to do whatever the fuck you wanted, to go buy you your binge food, to go buy you your fast food, to cart you around Lexington, to go buy your stupid shit. And they didn't say boo. That's what you wanted. And how are you going to do that? You have to beat a person down for long enough, remove them from their friends and family, what you did, make their self-esteem shit, which you did, and it wasn't great to begin with. Remove financial stability from them, which you did. You encouraged them to quit. And Beck said that every time you would say that they're the financial responsible one, they would say, I'll get a job. And you said, no. Don't do that. I need you to take care of me. So Amber, please.
They tried Uber, but they only did it like twice. And I'm like,
by the way, this is the second time.
The reason, first off, Beck did Uber Eats after they broke up because, again, Amberlynn left Beck high and dry. All of a sudden, Beck had to pay half the bills when Amberlynn never let them get a job. The only money that they made were commissions, and they weren't making that many commissions. So what do you mean, Amber? What do you actually mean?
Amber has made this claim even after she said that she watched Beck's stream where they said that that's just not true.
The Uber thing, I did it way more times than just twice. I even did it.
They did it after they moved out. They were doing it after they moved out. So, like, I don't know why Amber's that is so crazy to me.
Whenever I moved out and lived on my own, I still did Uber. And I had a really good time doing Uber. It was fun. I would just ride around listening to my music, delivering food. And it was time away from her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did want to get a job. I wanted money of my own because I was tired of her holding it over my head. But she always told me that she enjoyed being the main breadwinner because...
Yeah. And I absolutely believe that because that in itself is a manipulation tactic. That is a abuser 101 tactic. To remove any ability for the person to not be dependent on you so that they can leave your abuse. And the only way Amberlynn could do that was with money.
It made her feel good about herself. But I'm thinking you wanted to be the main breadwinner because you have all the control.
I always try to be super...
Clever Bee, hello. We're getting towards the end. I think after this video, I'm going to call it a night because it is 2:20 here and I do need to sleep so that I can study tomorrow.
Supportive with their passions. Like, I bought them all kinds of, like, this art stuff so they could start an art business. And I really wanted to help them with that. And, like...
And here we have more of the, I bought them this, I bought them that.
It's also crazy. First off, like, she did buy Beck, like, pens and stuff like that. But, like, that's about it. So I don't know why Amberlynn's acting like that she just did so much. Like, you bought them some colored pens.
But wasn't she previously just saying that it was both their money?
Yeah, also exactly that. If you both have debit cards to this joint account, where apparently, according to Amberlynn Reed, Beck was allowed to go in and spend money whenever they wanted. They had free reign over the account. Why did you have to buy it? Why couldn't they just go get the stuff they needed? Oh, because it wasn't Beck's account. It was just Beck's name that you leached onto. Right, okay.
Did you ban Beck from watching reaction channels? No, because here's another thing that I thought was really weird. Beck literally doxed Zachary Michael's, like, full name in one of my YouTube videos, and there's literally a clip.
They didn't dox Zachary Michael's full name. Zachary Michael's channel used to be his full name, and then he changed it to Zachary Michael. That's not doxing, Amberlynn. You still haven't learned the definition of doxing. And it's weird as hell that your proof that they weren't allowed to watch reaction channels, which I 100% believe, because they weren't aware of half the shit that was going on, that your proof is that, well, Beck doxed Zachary Michael. What the fuck do those two things have to do with each other?
And I was, like, so confused because I didn't even know Zach's full name. Like, how did Beck know it over...
Because, Amber, you're not smart, okay? I really don't... Again, like I said, I don't think she's literate over a 4th grade level. You're not smart. That's not Beck's fault. That's on you. You clearly didn't pay attention to the username.
I was beyond confused. So that's obviously something else that isn't true.
So that's obviously something else. That's something like a 7-year-old trying to be like, so like, you see, like, because the grass is green, like, I didn't go outside. Those two things have nothing to do with each other. That's like obviously not true. Okay, Amber. Oh my God, Amber.
Yeah, that's not proof, Amber.
No.
Okay? You saying that Beck knowing Zach's full name is proof that Beck was watching reaction channels is just not true. Because, to be fair to Beck, Zachary Michael's full name, full government name, was their username for YouNow. So if Beck was reading a comment that Zach put in the chat, you know, instead of saying Blue-Eyed Girl 32 said blah, 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 they would have said Zach blank said blah, blah, blah. I mean,
also during the time when Zach did have his full name as a thing, he would comment all the time on Amberlynn and Beck doing live streams because this was early on in their relationship, and Zachary Michael was still a newer channel. He didn't have the following that he has today. He was in his like old apartment, like I can like picture it right now, like so. Of course, Beck would have seen it. It's not like she was watching or they were watching reaction channels. They saw it probably while they were messaging you in the live, because I remember he'd ask like silly questions like, do you like eggs? What's your favorite type of egg? Like just stupid shit like that, you know? So Amber, it don't make sense.
At doxing them if their full name is their screen name, their username. And anyway, even if that was true, how does that prove that they were allowed to watch Zach or any other reaction channels? It doesn't.
What do you believe you actually did wrong? Sage, that is such a good question. I was controlling and I was manipulative.
Controlling in what way, Amber? It's just saying little buzzwords. It's not taking accountability. People are asking for specific things that you are taking accountability for. Saying, well, I was controlling. I was manipulative. Yep. But you're out here with receipts upon receipts about what Beck has done, supposedly. Come on, Amber. You don't know how to take accountability. Because genuinely don't think you did anything wrong. And I think you think that way because you have done this behavior with every single partner you've had. So clearly you don't see an issue with this.
When I wanted to get my way in the sense of like wanting them to just always be with me. And I would get angry with them when they would be gone for too long because
But I also wanted them to go get a job. But I would be angry if they were gone too long. But I did want them to get a job, and I was just so confused why they wouldn't get a job. Weird.
Feel sad and lonely and all these stupid fucking annoying feelings that like genuinely when it comes down to it like don't matter. Like when
Oh, Clever B. I thought that they went by he, them, but if I'm wrong, I will just, for safety reasons at this point, respect reasons, I will refer to them as they, them. Thank you so much for letting me know.
Comes down to it literally does not matter.
Notice how Amberlynn is not owning up to any specific things that Beck said about her other than the wiping. It's general terms. Like, I was controlling, I was manipulative, but nothing actually specific. I mean, the whole purpose behind the stream was to be accountable for the specific things that Beck said. But so far, we've only gotten that she was wiped. Side note, do you guys ever hear yourself say something and go, what am I doing with my time? No? Just me? Okay, look.
Honestly, I kind of feel that with this live. Y'all are wonderful, but I'm like, I spent so long reacting to this freaking heifer.
Continue.
I was harsh with them. I was
harsh with them. But for Amberlynn, Beck calling her a fat bitch, Beck saying, well, at least my parents didn't do drugs. Though that was just crazy, you guys, just so abusive. She was crying. Her voice was quivering. That's how horrible it was. But Amberlynn was just harsh to Beck. So,
and it's so crazy to like at the time, like I didn't even view it that way. But like a good example of that is like
Femi Marie. Thank you so much. Yeah, I will call them they, them. Thank you guys for letting me know.
When they were trying on the, sorry, my brain's working so fast and it's like the words are not coming out. What is it called? A fanny pack? And I was like, oh, you could just lose some weight. You know, saying something like that is like talking down to somebody. And it's like, at the time, I didn't even realize it. And like...
This is so stupid. She's using this. I mean, look, it was shitty, but I guarantee you that's not even a quarter bad of like the real shit Amberlynn was saying to Beck. What about like you saying shorter hair looks bad on rounder, fatter faces. Your partner sitting there with short hair. What about that, Amberlynn? There's just so much other shit. And of course she's going to sit there and go, oh my God, I just had no idea. I had no idea. I'm just a baby. I had no idea. Amber, you are a late 20-year-old. Okay, you should be able to understand.
I feel so awful for that, and I'm just like genuinely so
TM, that's nasty. How dare you say that? You'll have an MD degree in ALR. I hate that you're so right. It's really tragic.
sorry that like I ever put them in like a situation or a place to like ever feel bad about themselves. Like
Amber,
I feel like she's saying
every single thing you did was to make them feel bad about themselves. Every single thing. Your entire thing was to make them feel unlovable, unwanted, unworthy of anyone else, and they better just settle for you because they're lucky that you even look at them, that you even call them your girlfriend. That was the entire relationship, Amber. So for you to act like, oh, that's just, I didn't even mean it. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Girl, bye.
But the way she's saying it is driving me crazy. I wish she would just say, I'm sorry that I made you feel bad about yourself. But instead, she's doing some weird way of explaining it and going around it.
Sick toast. Oh, I'm going to point this out because ever since someone showed me I can't unsee it. Please notice how one of her earrings is way lower than the other every time. Ugh, y'all. Why are you doing this to me? I will look for that. But I do know that she commented, I know one of her ears is wonky because she had to re-pierce it herself because it like closed up or something. But she do have grandpa ears. It's kind of crazy. She do be having grandpa ears. That shit is weird, okay? I also saw in like the ankle. He was talking about how the reason that her ears look like that is probably because she got them pierced so young. Girl, I got my ears pierced as an infant, okay? That's just a thing in our culture that we do. My ears aren't grandpa ears. I think it's because she wears cheap-ass jewelry, and also she just got bad genetics. So, but let's take a look.
I'm sorry I put you in a situation where you felt bad about, like, it feels like, almost like she's trying to get out of actually apologizing.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't want to come out and just say, I'm sorry I did this to you. It's like, I put you in this situation and then you did this. Like, it's just very Amberlynn. It's very Amberlynn coded, as she likes to say.
It's weird because as much as like, I did things like that and said things like that, I also very much like want to hype up my partner always, like, and I think that's why like I wanted them to do the art thing so much, and like I would always show their art because like I also wanted to like in the same breath like hype them up and make them feel good about themselves because duh, who doesn't want to do that? Like of course you want to make your partner.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh my God, sick toast. You're sick. I'm so mad that you showed it so bad. It literally goes like this. Oh, I'm so upset.
Feel good, but like there was that other side of me where it's like I would talk down to them and like I wouldn't even realize it, and it's like I'm just so sorry for that.
That's not accountability. Oh, I talked to them, but I didn't even realize it. That's you not taking accountability. That's you putting it onto something else. Well, I didn't even realize I was doing that. So sorry that happened to you. Not my fault. Oh.
Then it makes me question like how many other times I do that and I didn't even realize it. Like
the whole fucking relationship, Amberlynn. If you're really asking, which I know you're not, but if you really care to know, it's the whole fucking relationship you did that to Beck, the entire thing, and you put it online for everyone to watch it.
That's sad, and I'm just very sorry for that.
Finally.
Jennifer, she's just a big old jumble of wonky bits. Y'all, she really is. Honestly, I hate that the ankle has pointed out how wonky her eyes are because they are wonky as hell. Yeah, anyways, that's as far as I'll go. Metal Mama Sue, I had mine pierced at 8 years old, and mine don't look like that, and I'm a lot older than she is. Yeah, exactly. That's not, that again is just wearing heavy earrings and bad genetics, y'all. The grandpa ears, they be grandpaing, unfortunately for her. I also think maybe it has something to do with her weight. Like, I think her face probably pulled her ears or some shit like that. Maybe. But that's just speculation.
You got what feels like a genuine apology. Now, do I think it's real? I think she thinks it's real. And in this moment, in front of thousands of people, maybe she means it. But I also think that if no one else was around and she was doing the private meeting with Beck, I think she would do the whole, I'm sorry, but you did this.
Yeah. Well, I think that she said, I'm sorry, because it's a way for her to take some sort of accountability, not really, but in her mind, take accountability on something that's very small. Oh, I talked down to them, but I didn't realize it, but I am sorry that happened. Okay? It's like a very minuscule thing. Like on the level of abuse, that's lower than the other things, right? But for the other things, she had every which way to lessen the accusations that Beck were saying and to cause people to like question Beck and all of that, to view them as illegitimate. But for this, sure, I'll say sorry, because in Amberlynn's mind, it's less severe. And I think in most people's minds, it's kind of less severe. It's not. Clever nickname, apology, not accountability. Yeah, exactly. It's not accountability. You saying that you don't remember doing that you weren't aware, that you didn't realize how hurtful it is not taking accountability. Saying, I did this, and I am sorry I did this, that is not okay. Doesn't matter if you realize you were doing it or not. Someone is telling you you did this. So you say, I did this and I am sorry. I'm sorry that I did that. That is not okay. That is not okay behavior. That's accountability. This bullshit is not accountability. This is skirting your way through and hoping that someone believes enough of it. But again, Amber, no one believes it.
You guys share a bank account. I know tons of married couples who don't. I couldn't imagine sharing a bank account with a girlfriend. It's
Jennifer, maybe she stole the lazy eye from Crystal. Sorry, that was mean to Crystal. In the words of, I don't have any mods, but in the words of Oh Lordy, it's Jordy, mods get her. That was hilarious. You're on the hell. Mean, bad, exactly, Femi Marie. I just hear Oh Lordy, it's Jordy's like voice right now. Mean, bad. Oh God. Okay. Veronica, she's not sorry because she doesn't believe that she did anything wrong. Exactly, she doesn't. She truly doesn't, and that's why we're seeing this. Veronica, yes, send the tomatoes. Everyone send the tomatoes to Jennifer Linifer. Bad. Shame.
So weird, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was the last time I ever did it. Never gonna do it again and never will do it again.
Yo, I wish they had slushies here. I miss 7-Eleven slushies.
Thanks. But why? I don't remember why we did it. It's just, I remember me and Destiny also shared a bank account. So it felt...
Yeah, because you didn't have an ID. An ID. And I remember Destiny saying multiple times when you moved to Kentucky, you need to get a state ID. When you lived in Florida, you said, yeah, I don't have an ID. I can't go to the bar. I can't go... to this or that because I don't have an ID. I can't go buy liquor because I don't have an ID. You moved to Kentucky, you didn't get an ID. You never got an ID. You had to sit there and live off of Destiny. And when you first moved, you didn't have money to your name. So you literally put yourself on that account so that you could have access to Destiny's money and spend it the way you wanted. So I don't know why you're acting like you don't remember. I'm loving all of the tomatoes right now. Good job. What you need is expired zebra cake. I love that someone has in their like calendar the anniversary of the expired zebra cake. That shit was so funny. Oh Lordy, it's Jordy is definitely the best live streamer. He's hilarious as shit.
Normal to me because like the first time ever like receiving money from like as an income, I was with Destiny and we both had an income and we were putting our money together. So then when I first got with Beck, they had an income, I had an income. And
she like Veronica, she is confused. She doesn't understand how things work because for her whole life, she has had someone else doing this shit for her. She's always been able to just tack on to someone else. And I personally think that right now, all of the things that she's part of, I'm guessing that she's probably on her mom's account right now. I don't think she has her own bank account. I don't think she has an ID to make her own account. I think she's on her mom's account. I think her mom is the person that is on the lease. That's what I think, because I know someone was telling me, and I believe this is true. She has accounts out, like debt out from when her and Destiny lived in Florida, because they had left that apartment so trashed, so rank. And to this day, like when you do that to an apartment, that shit spreads. Your credit, like that shit ruins you. It makes it very difficult to rent. And no, sorry, it wasn't the Florida one. It was the one that they got together in Kentucky. Since that apartment, like, I think she moved in with Eric and Ricky. So I don't think her name was on the lease. I think what happened is she just moved in. The landlord knew, and she would pay the landlord because she was paying for everyone. Then when they moved into the apartment with, alone with Beck, I think Beck was probably the primary person, and Amberlynn didn't put her name on the lease. I think it was under Beck's name. And then when Jade came in, I think Jade then took over that lease. I don't think Amberlynn was ever the primary leaseholder. And I think now, because she came into that apartment already ready, I think now her mom is probably the leaseholder of this apartment. So, like, Amber, you have fucked yourself so royally.
That was normal for like couples to get a bank account together. So
in my opinion, I think there was
absolutely, yeah, from Marie. I do, because I know that people are saying this, like, she hasn't had her name on a lease, and that's why it's been so difficult for her to necessarily get tracked down specifically, is because she's always had partners to have the lease in their name, because she has screwed herself so badly with all of that. Clever Bee, yeah, the information follows you. Like, especially in the US, that shit fucks you up. Like, it becomes virtually impossible when you screw over a landlord like that in the US, because most of these landlords are not private landlords, they are corporations. So you screw up one corporation, they're never going to let you rent again in that corporation, or you're going to have to jump through serious hoops to get through it. She pisses me off so damn much. I'm 44 and I've been grown as adult with bills, responsibility, and kids since I was 19. Grow the fuck up, Amber. No, for real. Like, it's crazy. No way. I also managed she had good credit and an accountant, but not sure why I'm giving her that much grace. LOL. I think she does have someone. I don't know how much of an accountant it really is. Like, maybe I think it might just be like TurboTax, and she just says she has an accountant. But yeah, her credit score is fucked, y'all. Like, she has never paid back her student loans. She has mounds and mounds of medical debt. She does not have money to pay these things. It's not like she had the money. She was definitely given the money, like made the money that she could have paid these things off. But what was she doing instead? She was spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on Torrid and journals and going out to eat and this and that. And this shit follows you. Her credit score is shit, y'all. I guarantee you it's in the 300s. And again, in America, for those who don't know, if you have a shit credit score, you can't do anything. You are constantly having to rely on someone else to be able to do things for you. George likes to say me during first week of my newborn's life, the only stream I would be interested enough not to fall asleep while feeding. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm happy you have that. She's been leeching off of people for years and doesn't drive. I don't know. I don't believe she could establish any credit for her own. No, she's always been. And what's crazy is that, like, she got to a point where that wasn't necessary, but she had already dug herself in such a hole and she's so irresponsible with her money that she never fixed her situation. And she's still, to this day, having to rely on other people.
2 reasons why, well, at least 2 reasons why she got a bank account with Beck. Number 1, I think she was too lazy to go and get her own bank account after she and Destiny broke up. I've seen people speculate that could it be because Amberlynn didn't have a government ID and you have to have one of those to open a bank account. But honestly, I think she did have a government ID at that time. I don't know for sure, but
she didn't. And she said it herself. She didn't. Like, even when she was living with Eric, Ricky, and Beck in that house, she couldn't go into the liquor store. I remember one of the vlogs, she was sitting in the car and she said, I can't go in because I don't have a government ID. And people always think that I'm so young. People always think I'm like 15 years old. Bitch, you're 500 pounds. You're aging like milk, okay? No one thinks you're 15. But that was always her excuse. Like, yeah, she doesn't have a government ID, which I think partly, like, she just didn't want to get out of the car. But I do believe she did not have a government ID. Because never once, I guarantee you, we would see the entire process of her going into the DMV, getting her photo taken, this and that. She never did it. She has not had one since she lived in Virginia. Her entire thing, she has not had a valid government ID.
To laziness, it was easier for her to just change her banking info with Google to Beck's bank account than to go down to the bank and open up a new one. And number 2, I think
Yeah, Metal Mama Sue. Same here, Jennifer. Since I was younger, I had a job at 16 in my own bank account and driver's license. Yeah, I had a job when I was 14. I was putting money away since I was 14. I was bagging groceries. Granted, it was only the summer because, like, I was in high school and stuff, and I had the privilege of not having to, like, help support my family. But you better believe on summer break, like the 3-month summer break, I was in a grocery store every single day bagging groceries, and I made a lot of money in 4 years doing that. And ever since then, I have never not had a job. This is the first time in my life that I do not have a job, and it's because I'm in medical school, and they don't let you have a job during medical school. Yeah, so it's crazy that Amberlynn wants to, like, act like, you know, her life's so tough, she's had to do so much, and when in reality, she has been coasting her entire life. She has been coasting and living off people.
Liked having that control. I think that she enjoyed her partner feeling like they had to come to her to ask if they could buy things. And if Amber tries to say that that didn't happen, here's a clip proving it.
Do you want to get one? I like to stay warm.
My New Year's resolution last year was learn how to play the piano. This is me then.
Just follow my lead.
And I do think it was for the reason that Beck said as well. Amberlynn has this fear of people leaving her. And if Beck would have had their own account, they could have been, you know, squirreling money away in it. And one day, if Beck had had enough and was wanting to end the relationship and kicked Amber out of the house, Amber wouldn't have been able to do anything about it.
So I literally just went on theirs and I didn't really think anything of it.
Right.
And like I said, I'm just all about, like, sharing the money. I've never been someone that's like, my money. Like, that's never been.
You are like that, Amberlynn. You are like that, though. We saw you like that. What are you talking about?
Or I would have gotten my own bank account and I would have stayed on my own bank account.
And again, according to Beck, you did have your own bank account. It was a private bank account. And for all of her talking about, oh, my money, I've never been like my money. Why is it then when you break up with these people, with Destiny and Beck, all of a sudden it is your money? You don't give them
Sick Toast, I want to ease your mind. He did learn how to play piano. Thank God for that. He did learn.
Any of the money that's in the bank account. Because for Amber, it's our money until it's not. Until you do something I don't want you to do. Right. And now it's my money.
This keeping score shit is very immature. So, like, I think it's only fair, like, when you're in a relationship, like, you can be accountable for things and also
But
share
Amber, you have yet to be really accountable for anything. This hour-long synopsis has just been you shitting on Beck.
Of the story. Like, that goes for both of us. Like, why is it only okay for them to share their story, but I'm not able to?
Because they're giving their perspective on things that you showed 4 years ago. I don't understand why that's so hard for you to understand, Amber. It's really not that hard.
Amber, get the hell out of here. You've been sharing your side of the story for years. Yeah. And if you decided that you wanted to edit out certain parts and leave other parts in, if you wanted to direct the scenes and make Beck change the way that they were speaking or only say certain things, that's your side of the story. You told it. And you're just mad that Beck is letting us all in on how much was covered up. So guys, we're going to end it here. Make sure you check out part 2 tomorrow. We have to go over the rest of this live stream, and then we'll do Salty Sunday on Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button.
All right, y'all, let's give this salty crab a like. Wow, you guys, that was so long. Oh my God. Thank you all so much for joining. We might end up, if we do a live tomorrow, it is going to have to be earlier for me because I can't be staying up till 2:49 in the morning doing a reaction. I'll go crazy. And again, I do have an exam on Monday. So, Clever B, thank you so much. Off topic, but what kind of doctor are you trying to become? My sister is working towards becoming a nurse practitioner. Ooh, we got a smart girly. Best of wishes to your sister. I currently am interested. I'm open-minded. I'll start there. But I'm currently interested and have been for a very long time in trauma surgery. I also really enjoy the emergency department. And recently I've really gained a real knack for the heart. But I do want to go into surgery. That's a really important, something that's heavy in procedures, but ideally surgery, because I'm a very hands-on individual. So something like that. But I've realized that I kind of have an affinity for the heart. I really love the whole functioning. So maybe cardiothoracic. I also really love arteries and veins. So something heavy in that, but, yeah, something surgical for sure. But trauma surgery has always been kind of my main thing that I've always seemed to be gravitating back towards. So probably something like that. Ooh, she works for the emergency department now. Oh, that's very cool. Dude, you see some crazy things in the emergency department. It's always very exciting. Well, depending. If you're in a level 1 trauma center, it's very exciting, which I would like to work in something like that. I have mad respect for all of you that work in the healthcare field, for real, y'all. Every single part of it is crazy important. It's literally a whole living organism in itself. You can't exist without all the parts together. Veronica, love listening to a smart girly. Oh my gosh, thank you. I mean, my IQ will never be as high as Amberlynn, Einstein, Reed, but one can only hope. My hope is to one day get as smart as her. Jennifer, what emergency department? There are so many different ones. If you read Scotty. I mean, to be fair, there are different levels of emergency departments. Also, there's urgent care, which is not something I'd want to work in. Like I said, I'd want to work in, Jennifer, you're too much. Okay. I'd want to work in a level 1 emergency department if I did. But again, I mean, if I ended up becoming a trauma surgeon, I'd have to work in something like a level 1 trauma center anyways. So, yeah. I can't with y'all. Mama Sue, you will have time to find what you love to do in your training experience on the floor when you get to do that. Yeah, we already start doing, we already have to do rotations now. It's not so much, but we have to go and do shadowing and stuff like that. And I did an internship in general surgery in my undergrad during the summer in New York City when COVID was happening, which is also why I get so annoyed listening to Amberlynn talk about COVID, because y'all, every single day I had to go to one of the biggest hospitals in New York and work with people, again, in the general surgery department, with a general surgeon every single day, wearing all the PPE, passing the trucks full of dead bodies. So to hear Amberlynn talk about COVID and how she's a survivor of it is really fucking annoying to me because I've had that experience. But yeah, I definitely am open-minded. I just kind of already know, I wouldn't do family medicine. I don't enjoy that. I wouldn't do dermatology. I just know a few, just personality-based and things that I have already experienced. I already know kind of some of the things, but again, I'm going in very open-minded. Femi Marie, so very cool. I have several chronic illnesses. I've had many surgeries. I can tell you'd be a great surgeon. Oh, thank you so much. I'm very sorry that you have had to deal with that. And I hope that you've been taken care of well, that people have treated you well in those moments and times. But I really appreciate it. Gooks, love the med school vlogs. Thank you. I will post another one shortly. Veronica, not Scotty. Yeah, honestly, Jennifer, another Rotten Tomato for you. We gotta throw the tomatoes at her again. She's doing too much. Clever B, she worked in trauma, heart something, and now the emergency department. Damn. Okay, so she's been doing real cool things. Does she know, like, I don't know specifically how nurse practitioners go. Do they specialize in things or are they more like PAs where you can kind of like float around into different specialties? I love it. The Rotten Tomatoes. Mods, get them. I won't steal Jordy's thing. It always goes through my head, but it's Jordy's thing, y'all. Okay. Scotty made me want to hit my head against a wall, Veronica. No, honestly, just listening to Mr. Snowflake read it, I was shocked. I was so shocked that he made it through. Honestly, in a pretty dignified way for the bullshit that he was reading. And honestly, it's just shocking that someone writes at that level. She kind of just floats around. Oh, okay, that's cool. I kind of like that. That is like something that's cool about being a PA or like a nurse practitioner is that you can kind of change up your specialty whenever you want. I mean, I'm sure you probably still have to do something, like some learning, obviously, especially like it's a learning curve, but I do think it's cool. But you guys don't know COVID like Amber does. Joe, you are so right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, she is a survivor. Y'all would never even understand what the hell that means. The only field that she doesn't work in is with children because it was hard for her to see. Yeah. Clever B. That's something that I love children. I absolutely love children. I love working with children, but I do not think that I could work with children in the medical field. I think that takes a special type of person. I also don't think I could handle working with the parents of the children because like that's just like a whole different level of stress that you have to deal with. You're essentially working with two patients. Also, I just like don't think I could handle ever losing a child and it like being in my hands. Yeah, that's a lot. But who knows? Mad respect to anyone that works in the healthcare field with children. That's insane to me. Mr. Snowflake always looks so confused reading Amber's trash. Veronica, honestly, he does. But like, in such a dignified way. Like, I think I would have been screaming if I was reading that. So it was like mad props to him keeping it pretty chill. But I think I'm going to call it here, you guys. It is 3 minutes away from 3 o'clock in the morning. I really need to get some sleep. My eyes are so tired. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this live stream. I hope to do it again soon. Again, if I do end up doing it tomorrow, it would be a lot sooner. I know it's already very early for many of you, but it would have to be like more so in the afternoon for me, especially because I'm guessing the part 2 is going to be another hour or so long. Yeah, okay. But anyways, thank you all so much. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, a fun Saturday evening if you still have a Saturday evening to have, and a good Sunday morning, day, restful one. If you work, that it's chill. Love you all. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys in the next live stream or video. Bye.